well, for Skirt, gets shut down. Nade stuns over the top. Gallerus are positioning themselves in money window for the contest and through open stairs.
What?
They found the opening, Alan, and they were able to swarm around the A zone. So the second segment does get locked, but now parallel are stalwart to be.
That looked like is about as easy to read as it possibly could have been, with Gallerus coming through laundry, cracking through middle. That should have been a full cross cut.
Absolutely.
That stalwart should have expected, but it gives Gallerus an opportunity. Foki onto the Tempest. Hasn't had a chance to really pop it yet. Second tick at B starting to be worked on as Stalwart are really putting a lot of good objective focus into the minds of Gallerus. Second tick going to get locked here as Lucas is a little late to the kill. Even though we're tied in lives, major opportunity for Stalwart to extend the clock.
I mean, pick your poison here. You got players already lurking around Tiki, which FDX, he pulls the Annihilator to be able to win the 1v1. Knows that there's another player inside a money window, and who else is it but the Annihilator player himself of Lucas, and to shut down the opposite side. No third segment being worked on quite yet, but positioning being taken by Stalwart to get back over towards A.
E-Hawk has to win this 1v1. And I don't know if he knows that FDX is here. Oh, and how about a little left right? But to think of that, Voki has taken that same position. Focus is over towards A. Defense for Gallerus, trying to fight that off and keep the clock ticking. But it looks like Jai and the rest of Stalwart will get the extra 60. One life edge. But the biggest thing is this may not even be down to a TDF. You have to be perfect for Gallerus to keep Stalwart off the zone with that second tick already locked.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And keep in mind, FDX did connect with a nade on a Foki, so he knows that he's still lurking around here looking for the spawn trap. But that's one less player that both these two teams have been missing. Two, if you're counting for Gallerus, if they want to try to retake over by that A zone.
You can't spawn trap when it's a 4v6. There's no more respawns available. You gotta win out from the front. 4v5, the timing for Voki. Do they expect this? Here comes the help, trying to re-clear laundry. May not make a difference. Clovis already up top. FDX able to connect 1-1. 3v1 situation, and they do get the read onto Voki. A quick 2-0 edge for Stalwart.
Looking good to be closing things out here. Gallerus really got to piece things together here. This opening engagement is just about everything possible. What do they even have for it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Opening nades, maybe gunfights. Lucasen now has a sniper rifle in hand. One operator ready for read. It's the Sparrow, and he just goes straight through Zig. He sees everybody in open stairs. That trophy system was so dead.
Middle of the map instantly taken by Stalwart. Gallerus trying to cover this hit with smoke. But they're stuck at the moment. And this does not feel good. At least they were able to stop any potential spawn threat. You've also got a death machine working around the back. Oh, this is taking a lot of ammunition, tell you would. Oh boy, at least Mihawk is eventually able to connect, but he's gonna run out of this thing. And for Gallerus, it doesn't turn into too much in terms of offensive pressure.
They're hurting, keep fighting.
They are indeed hurting. Gallerus gotta start fighting. Trying to get themselves over towards this A control zone just to try to stall out the clock, let alone get a couple of segments. Reverse sweep of the control would be an insane feat, and they're fighting the eliminations not only to continue the zone progress, Alan, but also get a 3-life lead. And they have operators in rotation. They're holding on to them just in case these players over by jungle lose their lives.
I mean, this would be wicked. Not talking about the one with Gwenda, talking about what we got out of the Latin Americans. Foki, Tempest in hand. Two other operators. How do you set this up with plenty of time on the clock? You have to be efficient. You would love to be able to hold on to these ops for the next round if you can get there. Big if.
Yeah, Foki with Tempest is going to be the first one to kind of feel things out for information, but now we're going to end up having an opportunity for Stalwart just to keep them all trapped all through the middle of the map. They're still where players are lurking around jungle, so you feel like that once everybody spawn back up, once they get out from spawn, some operators got...
Oh! Brief not done! Huge for Stalwart. Still a 1-life edge, though, for Gallerus. 60 seconds. But a pop-off moment, likely living a little rent-free in the minds of Gallerus. Reef is not done. Eventually shut down by the Sparrow, but you have to pull the options to see another round for Gallerus. And they very well may have created the opportunity to do so, but it's expensive.
Only one player on the capture, 100-killer drone. We'll keep that one player weak, forced to jump out, Hen now dead. So the zone won't be working on the progress anymore. Gallerus only lead by a single life, but this Sparrow is threatening for Reef. Smoke comes through over by pillars. Now he knows where to be throwing these bolts. Stalwart are just hurtling around the backside of Laundry. They don't want this point to be coming through, but Mihawk does find timing for at least one.
FDX is going to try to call game here with the Annihilator out. Hits onto one and another. Now Stalwart with the life edge and the clock in their favor. Reef trying to also hit hard. And this has been a masterclass from Stalwart. 4v3. Last chance for Gallagher's to try to stay alive in this tournament, and Clove is not going to let it happen. Bang, done, no problem. Stalwart 3-0 and wave goodbye to the Latin Americans.
It was so competitive until it wasn't. Until we got into the raid control, Gallagher's were fighting hard from so many different opportunities, from so many different situations. Backs against the wall, no longer, but on a plane ticket home. Top 4 last year, top 6 for this time around. Gallagher should be still holding their heads high. They faced some really stiff competition, but this Stalwart esports team, man. Like I was saying, coming off of that Q9 matchup, literally playing on that raid, it felt like almost like a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah.
In facing the way that Gallagher was just presenting it.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on top of that, just the ice and the composure to be able to close out the hard point where you started. The search and destroy and extras after Lucazin was trying to challenge everything. And then here in the raid, a couple of tight moments as we got to the end of each round. So Galaris will be eliminated, and that's the end of the West, with quotations around it. So we talked about this a lot. I mean, it really was our narrative builder for the last 3 years of World Championships, East versus West. There's no more debate anymore. COD Mobile is living in the East, and now all of a sudden we're starting to talk about China versus Korea. Because that's pretty much all that we have left.
That's literally all that we have left. I mean,
we got India.
Yeah, you put OUG on the map. No, they lost.
Oh, they lost. Just
yeah,
kidding.
They lost
Yeah,
to OUG.
it is. Yeah, so you're
But I mean, like, you have like the NA copium, I guess, but that's realistically it. These highlights are going to be quite telling through the raid control. It was a masterclass from a lot of different opportunities, Alan, but like, once we get to that replay at the end, that's when I'm going to be jumping out of my shoes. That icy moment was just about everything.
You know, I feel like we might have gotten the play of the tournament out of Lucas in there. It just wasn't enough to help them get the win that they needed over Stalwart Esports. But, I mean, we heard you guys. You heard everybody in the back screaming. That was insane.
I mean, we've had 1v4 yesterday. We have Ace. Pop, 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 pop. Clean with the scope. You know what? Pop-offs don't necessarily always mean wins.
Yeah.
You can throw Hail Marys all you want, but, you know, old-fashioned big man football is pound the rock. You do the dirty work in the trenches.
Yep.
Stalwart's doing that.
Run the ball, man. And that's exactly what we got to see out of STE. It's just consistency within their positioning. 23 and 15 out of skirt, 31 and 17 out of reef. Able to really put themselves in a positional advantage continuously every single time going in towards that grade control.
Well, I want to check back in with Ian and see how STE is feeling after securing that win.
I got feeling a little bit tired because it's been a very long day for these guys. I'm standing by with FDX. That is the first question I've got for you, because once you drop into that lower bracket, it is brutal. You've got to put in so much work. Are you guys exhausted, or are you still feeling up to the challenge?
We still have some power left. We're gonna get that championship title. Come on.
Oh, I like that. I mean, it's right there. When you look at it, what does it make you feel?
Actually, I don't have, I cannot explain when I hold this, honestly. Maybe I'm gonna cry if I win the world champion. I don't know.
Well, time will tell, and like I said, you've still got quite the road ahead of you first. Let's just look back briefly to the loss to Q9. How did you bounce back from that mentally?
I told my boys, just restart, it's okay, we have another lives left, and we're gonna, like, come back stronger. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, because I know that, like, you didn't even know this. I'm just revealing this to you now. You are about to play once again here tonight to complete things out. You will face off against either Wolves or OUG to secure your spot going forward into the next stage. Who would you rather face and why?
I would rather face, I think for me, honestly, I would face anyone because we're prepared and we're ready to take them on.
All right, well, best of luck. Go and get a little bit of rest and preparation before your final battle here this evening, and we will go right back to the desk to look ahead at what's to come.
We've wrapped up another series. The winner is STE, and their job is not done yet, which
Yeah,
is
surprise.
insane,
Yeah.
right, Alan? I mean, talk to me about the endurance that is required of our players for that.
Lower bracket runs are
Yeah.
exhausting, period. And I think especially in a game like COD Mobile, which is so fast, so frenetic all the time, you need to be on your game immediately. And again, like, even if you get through today, you're still got to play through a lower bracket and then jump into a grand finals where you start with a disadvantage. So hard to come back off of two tough opponents, two very emotionally charged series, regain, but that's the name of the game, my friends.
But now, thoughts though, proper on what you saw that you liked out of them in this that now could potentially play into the final match for them of the day.
I think that Alan kind of honed it in wonderfully, right? I mean, when you're thinking about like this team of stalwart esports, like they're icy, like they're constantly putting themselves in situations that where you would think that the gunfights would be easy. They ended up losing out on the trades in a multitude of situations, but you go back to that raid control play, like that's pretty much how they were able to eke out so many different opportunities against some of the other top teams. Can they continuously do that? Find the consistency? I'm not too sure because, again, it's a long day of Call of Duty Mobile.
Well, we'll check out that bracket so everybody at home can see where we're at so far in the competition. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, early in the day, it was Q9 that secured that spot in our winners finals. That will be happening tomorrow to kick off the day. What we're going to be focusing on here to close out the day will be that lower bracket. We just got the 3-0 out of Stalwart Esports over Galeris, which means they have to now wait to see who they'll be facing off against. Will it be Wolves or OUG? That matchup is happening right now on Stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what
So we're going to wait for the winner there, and then whoever wins will then face off against STE.
Got you.
Yeah.
I forgot we got a little staggered right there. I got all mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
I've been discombobulated.
That's what I'm here for.
outside.
I know.
You're recombobulated.
Is that a thing? Can I be recombobulated?
Well, now you've got it all figured out. So that's where we're at, which means that's the final match for Stream B today. So if you guys want to head on over there and check that out and see how that goes, and then the final match on Stream A will be here when we get that winner. So still a few more things to finish off the second day of our Call of Duty Mobile World Championships here in 2025 proper. So like, you know, Alan was just mentioning before, this is truly a really long and arduous run.
I would say. I mean, even after all the groups having to play an extra match yesterday, going in towards this one, if you do it through the winners bracket, like you're in a better position to potentially close things out in a shorter day to make top 3 if your name is elevated. But hey, look, at the end of it, I think that you're happier to get to find the reps on land.
Sure.
But begrudgingly so.
Yeah, begrudgingly so, without question. I mean, this is a full slate of matches. And as we get into the teeth of this competition, where I think all of us would have expected, looking at the 8 teams who made it, we're really looking at 6. Now we're in that ball game, and there is no such thing as freebie anywhere. So, yeah, if you're stalwart, you know, get your yoga sculpt and your infrared sauna and your massage is going. Get yourself a spa day because you better be ready and refreshed for whoever comes out of this series.
I mean, luckily we'll start a little bit later tomorrow so they can get a nice, night's long rest in, sleep in, prepare for tomorrow for whoever wins, that is, making their way through. But I do want to check back in on our graffiti wall, how things have been going. So Beef Mommy, tell me what's going on.
Back here at the Graffiti 3.0, and we got another set of matches, and of course this one is a little bit more heartbreaking as Galoris going to be crossed off by Clove of STE as they move forward in the lower bracket run. Of course, it's not over yet as they're waiting for Wolves and OUG and their team. Man, this is gonna be crazy. Back to you guys.
Was it Chris and Brody who were saying they wanted to not see any hearts on the graffiti wall? Now I'm seeing hearts
We have
on
to,
the graffiti
at the very
wall.
least.
The teams are too wholesome to be stopped. The hearts are going to happen, whether people want them there or not.
I think especially for the OUG, like the one erasing the new gen ninjas too, like that is kind of a testament. Like, let's not forget, like Tech, a part of the team that wanted to
Absolutely.
eliminate. Like there is like a hidden rivalry in there. Did team with Marvel on Vitality last year as well, but like it is all love at the end of the day, right? I mean, it's very rare here in Call of Duty Mobile because we do these international events with the entire globe once per year. Everybody's just really happy to see each other. Yeah, let down by their unfortunate mishaps, I'm sure, for new gen ninjas not having the 2 teams that they wanted to be here with.
Yeah.
But still a hell of a run.
So many storylines that we've been following here all weekend long, and we're about to see where the next one is headed. Like I said, though, we need to wait for our match on stream B to finish. So stop over there, see who wins, and then whoever wins that matchup will be who faces off against Stalwart here on stream A, which means for stream A, we're going to be waiting for that to match to finish. So it'll be a short break while you guys are checking that one out, and then when all is said and done, we will wrap up the day to see who that team making their way through from the lower bracket will be. So we'll see you back here in just a little bit.
Can I be a little outlandish for a sec? What I gotta do to get y'all respect? Give me the microphone, 1, 2, check. What you gonna do? Let me go and run it, I'ma run up the check. Stay light on my feet, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Tell you guys how you ain't outsourcing me. Bet you one next year, it ain't gonna be cheap. Show and tell 'em my preferred style. I like jeans with a little bit of rip in the denim. Shows you how long I've been in 'em. Back and forth, I ain't gotta tell 'em. Take this work, now go sell it. get bands in the late night. Putting in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks just to save time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Yeah. Whoa. Spent too much on the wrist on me. Man, upstairs, never did song. Way too many bands, it's a lick on me. Yeah. Whoa. Take it easy, babe. If you need a baker, I be singing songs like I'ma need a baker. I'ma need a baker for what I'm cooking, baby. Cause it's game time. Gotta get bands in the late night. Putting in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks just to save time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, I'm ballin', finna go pro. Yeah, I'm kicking it in a dojo. Make a movie, get a GoPro. Yeah. Whoa. All my goals, I'ma hit them all. Mama told me to go hard. Now I'm outside finna ball. Cause it's game time. Gotta get bands in the late night. Put it in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks just to save time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Cause it's game time. Cause it's game time. You can hang tight. Cause it's game time.
Don Rafael. ¿Usted con cuántos celulares tiene?
El viejito, el antiguo y el nuevo.
Hey, can I be a little outlandish for a sec? Yeah. What I gotta do to get y'all respect? Give me the microphone, 1, 2, check. Let me go and run it, I'ma run up the check. Stay light on my feet, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Tell you guys how you ain't outsourcing me. Cause you want extra, it ain't gonna be cheap. We ain't gonna do a little this, do a little that, get a little crazy. Everybody wanna get busy, get steady like it's titanium. Finna go all out, finna go all out. How much time you got? Sit down, let me line them up. On a scale, like 1 to 10, I'm like way over 10. There ain't no explaining it, it's just the way I live. And I won't say sorry, beg your pardon. You don't wanna get me started. They know I go extra hard and I ain't stopping, I ain't stopping, I ain't stopping. I say what? Like you ain't heard me the first time, or you ain't see it with your third eye. I'm always ready like third time. Show and tell 'em my preferred style. I like jeans with a little bit of rip in the denim. Shows you how long I've been in 'em. Back and forth, I ain't gotta tell 'em. Take this work, now go sell it. Say what? We ain't gonna do a little this, do a little that, get a little crazy. Say what? Everybody wanna get busy, get steady like it's titanium. Say what? Finna go all out, finna go all out. Say what? How much time you got? Sit down, let me line them up. On a scale, like 1 to 10, I'm like way over 10. There ain't no explaining it, it's just the way I live. And I won't say sorry, beg your pardon. You don't wanna get me started. They know I go extra hard and I ain't stopping, I ain't stopping, I ain't stopping. I say what? Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I've been at the bottom, let it down from the top. I can't let it feel. I got hit on my plug. We got so much to do. I got a reel. Let me call you tomorrow. I got tests when I'm finished, but I keep it moving. If I stop in the process, you gon' run out my time. I need it exclusive. It's life in the top of the miles where eagles will ride. It find me as high than ever. Drinking that bottle, so run me it down, make it minute of pressure. I've been on the way. I got no time to look back, and my family's gon' need some more cheddar, so let's get it poppin'. Told me to put up a set of you, should never been better. You gon' let it calcify. But I'm crossing the line, we ready to sign. Yeah, ooh, can I get out of my way? This shit no order but mine. Yeah, ooh, don't want me showing my teeth. Might have some blood on my tooth. Yeah, ooh, I kinda settle the beef, so Lord, forget what I do. I'm at the top, yeah. Yes, game time. Gotta get bands in the late night. Put it in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks at the same time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Spend too much on the wrist on me. Man, upstairs, never diss on me. Way too many bands, it's a lick on me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Take it easy, baby. If you need a baby, I be singing songs like I'ma need a baker. I'ma need a baker for what I'm cooking, baby. Cause it's game time. Gotta get bands in the late night. Put it in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks at the same time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I'm ballin', finna go pro. Yeah, I'm kicking it in a dojo. Make a movie, get a GoPro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All my goals, I'ma hit them all. Mama told me to go hard. Now I'm outside finna ball. Cause it's game time. Gotta get bands in the late night. Put it in work on the main line. Spend a couple racks at the same time. Cause it's game time. Doing everything at the same time. Yeah, I'm on the way, just hang tight. Cause it's game time. Cause it's game time. Cause it's game time. You can hang tight. Cause it's game time.
En el comunicado dicen que lamentan añadir tiempo adicional, pero que esos meses extra, a los extras que ya habían añadido antes, les van a permitir terminar el juego con el nivel de calidad esperado.
Sí, lo dice.
Después de este anuncio, las acciones de la compañía detrás de Rockstar Take-Two bajaron un 7%. ¿Y crees que ahí termina la noticia? Porque hay cosas por abajo, pero ¿qué es lo que está detrás de todo esto?
Es que están buscando un botón de los regalos de Tecnonauta para que no lo robe todo el país.
Corre para suscribirte que se viene el regalito, pero no. Que un empleado de Rockstar ha salido a comentar la situación del estudio diciendo cositas interesantes. Y parece ser que un grupo de 30 empleados tenían planes de sindicalizarse para tener mejores derechos en la empresa. Al enterarse de eso, Rockstar sacó el látigo y pidió fulminante. Por otro lado, otros empleados que estaban salga. Para esto hay que regalártelo. Lamento decirlo, pero este paso puede que el GTA 6, el juego que tiene loco a la comunidad gamer, y que Rockstar Games ha lanzado hace unos días un comunicado sobre el videojuego más esperado de todos los tiempos. En el comunicado dicen que lamentan añadir tiempo adicional, pero que esos meses extra, a los extras que ya habían añadido antes, les van a permitir terminar el juego con el nivel de calidad. Después de este anuncio, las acciones de la compañía detrás de Rockstar bajaron un 7%. ¿Y crees que ahí termina la noticia? Porque hay cosas por abajo. ¿Pero qué es lo que está detrás de todo esto?
Es que están buscando un hueco entre los regalos de Tecnonauta para que no los robe todo el hype.
Corre para suscribirte que se viene el regalito, pero no. Es que un empleado de Rockstar ha salido a comentar la situación del estudio diciendo cositas interesantes. Y parece ser que un grupo de 30 empleados tenían planes de sindicalizarse para tener mejores derechos en la empresa. Al enterarse de eso, Rockstar sacó el látigo y los despidió fulminantemente. Por otro lado, otros empleados que estaban de baja por enfermedad o hasta incluso paternidad supuestamente también fueron despedidos injustamente en vísperas de Navidad. Rockstar ha intentado justificarse diciendo que el despido del grupo de 30 personas fue por revelar información confidencial del juego en foros públicos, algo que no ha servido el sindicato de trabajadores independientes de Gran Bretaña por la falta de detalles concretos sobre lo filtrado en los foros donde hablaron sobre ello.
¿Está retrasando el juego por no tener plantilla?
Quizás para encajarlo con la nueva generación de consolas. ¿Pero cuándo va a salir? Pues lo más seguro es que no salga nunca. Pero según dicen ellos, el 19 de noviembre de 2026. Justo 3 días después del cumpleaños de Ángel. Estoy haciendo publicidad. ¿A quién se lo regalaremos? Porque lo queremos muchísimo. Hijos. Nosotros no somos como Rockstar, Ana. Por lo que la única realidad es que tendremos que deshacernos de Ángel antes de que salga el juego. Para esto hay que regalártelo. Lamento decirlo, pero a este paso puede que...
Sacas este limón sin botar el agua, sin usar cuchara ni herramienta, llegarás a estos procesos correctos.
No me lo puedo ni tomar.
No, porque ahí está sacando el agua.
Que no se va a poder.
Inténtalo.
¿Cómo se va a tirar el agua? ¿Cómo lo va a sacar?
Si se puede,
Está hasta abajo, mira.
sácalo.
O sea...
Ahí está suficiente.
Pero es que no sé cómo.
Si se puede.
No sé cómo.
¿Eso qué?
Pues ver si se puede. Ay, no sé cómo. ¿Cómo lo puedo sacar? No puedo usar ni cuchara, nada.
No, nada. Si se puede.
¿Cómo? No sé cómo. ¿Cómo?
Está fácil.
Ay, no. Este está muy difícil. No lo voy a poder sacar.
¿Te rindes? ¿Te rindes?
Dame una oportunidad. Es que si meto la mano, mira, sigue el agua. Aunque se come, ¿cómo?
Solo usa tu dedo. Bueno, te rindes, ¿verdad?
Sí. O sea, no
Bueno,
sé
pero ya la
cómo.
mía. Solo metes el dedo y das vueltas.
Está bien fácil.
¿Por qué este pez permaneció inmóvil mientras lo mordían? ¿Acaso no tenía miedo de morir? Este fue el pez luna, llamado basura del mar. Cuando los pescadores lo atrapaban, casi siempre lo devolvían al agua, porque estaba compuesto casi solo de piel gruesa y hueso duro. Un pez luna de 2000 libras solo dio unas 100 libras de carne comestible. Además tenía muchos parásitos. Para deshacerse de ellos, el pez luna usó un truco extraño. Flotó boca arriba en la superficie, dejando que los rayos UV del sol mataran los parásitos, o esperando que aves marinas los picaran. La mayoría de los peces entraban en pánico y huían cuando los mordían, pero el pez luna simplemente flotó, tranquilo y aturdido, como si nada pasara. No fue porque fuera valiente, sino porque no tenía cola y no podía nadar rápido, y su piel no tenía nervios, así que no sentía dolor. Cuando llegó el peligro, no escapó, solo lo aceptó. ¿Por qué no se extinguió esta torpe especie? ¿Por qué este pez permaneció inmóvil mientras lo mordían? ¿Acaso no tenía miedo de morir? Este fue el pez luna, llamado basura del mar. Cuando los pescadores lo atrapaban, casi siempre lo devolvían al agua, porque estaba compuesto casi solo de piel gruesa y hueso duro. Un pez luna de 2000 libras solo dio unas 100 libras de carne comestible. Además tenía muchos parásitos. Para deshacerse de ellos, el pez luna usó un truco extraño. Flotó boca arriba en la superficie, dejando que los rayos UV del sol mataran los parásitos, o esperando que aves marinas los picaran. La mayoría de los peces entraban en pánico y huían cuando los mordían. Pero el pez luna simplemente flotó, tranquilo y aturdido, como si nada pasara. No fue porque fuera valiente, sino porque no tenía cola y no podía nadar rápido. Su piel no tenía nervios, así que no sentía dolor. Cuando llegó el peligro, no escapó. Solo lo aceptó. ¿Por qué no se extinguió esta pobre especie? ¿Por qué este pez permaneció?
Estás de suerte.
Unhappiness is something normal to feel, because that was definitely not the plan.
100%. To get through today, it's going to be a lot of fun review to do, because we know how obsessed they are with being brilliant. However, ladies and gentlemen, while we get a look in at the players, you'll notice that a couple are away from their desks and in relaxed positions, and that's because we've got a thing or two to sort out. But while we get that sorted out, grab yourself a snack, a little bit of something to drink, because trust me, you're going to want it for this next map. We'll see you after this very quick break.
我们在比赛前的准备主要是会去观看我们即将的比赛对手的录像，然后会做一些自身的调整，就是说在我们一些地方的某些环节，我们会进行一些特别的调整。
So usually before the match, we just play training mode, 20 minutes, 30 mode, then if we like to just
Está a punto de desaparecer. Imagina esto. Te compras un Android precisamente porque odias las limitaciones de Apple. Odias que el iPhone no debe instalar aplicaciones fuera de su tienda oficial. Pues bueno, eso es básicamente lo que está a punto de suceder con los teléfonos Android en 2026.
¿Eso incluye Images TV? ¿Un modificador de PlayStation 1? ¿Una aplicación completa para descargar videos? ¿Más 18?
Sí, todo eso. Y es que hace unas semanas Google lanzó un comunicado en donde obligará a todos los desarrolladores de aplicaciones a pasar obligatoriamente por un proceso de verificación, un proceso en el que tendrán que revelar su identidad, dirección, documentación de identificación, datos que probablemente ningún desarrollador externo quiera revelar. Ejemplo, los emuladores, que les gusta operar desde el anonimato, así que es posible que pronto nos tendremos que despedir de ellos, al igual que la mayoría de aplicaciones fuera de la Play Store. Pero, ¿por qué esta decisión tan drástica por parte de Google? ¿Acaso Apple será igual de limitado que un iPhone? ¿Qué va a pasar con los emuladores que tengas instalado? ¿Habrá alguna forma de saltarse esto? Bueno, de todo eso hablaremos hoy. Yo soy Alejandro y somos Preámbulo en Para entender la magnitud de lo que está sucediendo, tenemos que mirar hacia atrás. Cuando se habla de Android, nos estamos refiriendo al sistema operativo más masivo del planeta, que es utilizado en millones de dispositivos, smartphones, televisores, neveras, tablets, relojes y mucho más. Fue creado en 2003 por el estadounidense Albert Hocking y su equipo, y luego fue comprado por Google por $50 millones en 2005. El proyecto de Android fue bastante ambicioso, ya que fue creado como una alternativa a los sistemas operativos cerrados. Y esto es así, ya que fue hecho sobre Linux, lo que lo convertía en un sistema libre de código abierto y fácil de manejar. Así que gracias a eso, cualquiera que lo estudiara lo podía modificar y adaptar a cualquier dispositivo. Y esto sin duda lo hacía muy diferente a iOS, que a pesar de que era muy elegante, era un sistema muy cerrado y que no pasaba por sus reglas. Y esto sin duda era el punto más fuerte que marcaba la diferencia entre uno y otro. Mientras iOS era cerrado, Android era abierto.
Predator missile, Hans Killer Girl, because obviously every company is banned. But yeah, honestly, that looks like a great loadout. You know, got the frag grenade. Actually, I'm one of the individual. What you want to see? I personally like to see very underrated. Besides that, this is my loadout. Hey.
Can I be a little outlandish for a second? What I gotta do, I get you on track. Give me the microphone, 1, 2, check. Let me go and run it, I'ma run up the check. Stay light on my feet, flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Tell you guys how you ain't, I'm so send me. Cause you wanna stay, it ain't gonna be cheap.
one last time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Stream B. We've got ourselves Game 5 between Wolves and OUG. A $12,500 difference in prize pool for whoever makes it through. An opportunity to guarantee at least top 4 and to face Stalwart Esports to claim more here in Katowice. It's been a hell of a series. I'd hate there to be a loser, but there must be one victor, and we will find them on standoff. We told you how this map works. You know how this map works. There will be snipers, there will be shotguns, there will be superstars, there will be plenty of storyline. Let's settle them as we break off into map 1.
No more time to waste. Let's go straight into business, ladies and gentlemen. As we know, this is map number 5. This is Wolves and OG. That's the first lot going in favor of Wolves. Cartels falls to the ground. And immediately they try to go for the trade. Let's see if they can do it. That's a good hiding spot. There's 2 players in. He's going to call out for backup. Backup is about to be coming. A good nade is going to be thrown. And it's going to connect, but not quite going to find a kill, very unfortunately, for the side of OG.
We'll give up the information at the very least. Tectonic aware of a couple of players stood on the outside of gas. Positioning who can squeeze towards A. That's a perfect grenade from Zai to find Rav. And look at that one move very quickly. These are the adjustments we talk about when it comes to walls. They get that information or a numbers advantage, they execute on it immediately, like a hive mind. Zai's going to peer over the middle. And, well, there's plenty of damage being handed out by both sides. No one else dies. That doesn't last for very long. Solo with the shotgun up close. Wind will be the first victim. Peck's trying to play with the PKN, doesn't get there. Zai, though, does find Solo. 3-2 in Wolves' favor.
You know, the sun, the chaos unfolds. Only one remains alive inside of OG. That's going to be Tectonic, who begins to push. There's the hold by sounds. I'm going to find the kill just yet, but his ally pushes through. There's the shotgun play and a double. Poor Tectonic. They definitely heard that something was going on, but they did not expect for someone like Tectonic to be rocking that shotgun. That's the beauty of realizing, okay, if they push, I'm ready. And ready he was.
It's a 3-5 clutch to kick us off here on the side of OUG. I'm very surprised that Wolves continued to hit that. Felt like once they recognised the number of bodies, they were just going to play around the time. They didn't. Committed to the play. May well think better of it now. Sound's just going to hold this outside, lock down a whole portion of the map here. Every time he throws a shoulder left, he knows someone's pushing through gas. If he throws a shoulder right, you can see if they're trying to hit through Brown and get around the back of his team. But OUG on the defensive side here, and they're going to do what they're entitled to, which is slow the play down, burn through the time, look for some picks.
Yeah, no real need for them to lose their heads. They can just sit down, chill, wait for a bit. Right now it's been a bit of a minute or so. No one has died until now, as Tectonic finds that kill onto Sai, which is a great way to start the round, by the way.
Maybe Hughes and Cartels here. They had company in the number of 2, but we'll actually get a bit of room. Tectonic catches the nades, that's information given over to Wolves, but he's just going to belly crawl his way forward here. Gets his timings right, he's going to be in through the bag. And Solo's PKM, while merry and jingling his way through this map, certainly packs a punch. Peck tries to do the same thing. He's aware of where Tectonic was tucked last time and clears it for his boys to push forward, but Solo's going to find a window to get himself inside.
Yeah, no, the wall line there was definitely not going to happen. He thought that there was somebody there and wasted so many bullets. Unfortunately not for him. That was not the case. It was completely empty. Now, this 4v4 is going to be quite interesting because Cartel is quite far apart. And although Peck saw him, that was an incredible flick for Cartels. You know what he's doing. 10 seconds left. They're trying to plant the bomb, finds the kill, gets killed, does not matter. They know where it's at. They can just easily and safely push because of the time. It's happening again for Wolves. Unfortunate situation where they lose control over the timer, and for that same reason, OG just abuses the situation to safely secure another point.
Really worked by OG there. I mean, there's one thing for Cartels when it gets that snap, but it's also moments like reinforcing areas that Wolves believe they've cleared. It never gives them the feeling that they're comfortable, that they're safe. And Wolves, well, How often do you ever feel uncomfortable with the talent they possess? We'll be scratching their heads right now. Kings picks up his eye to open us up. Another blood. Cartel's going to continue to hold this back corridor side. Using the fridge here. That's his bit of cover. King, we want to see a bit more of him. Currently sat on nothing, and in these sniper duels, you've got to see him open things up if you're going to find ways as an attack team.
Let's see. 5v4, a few shots being fired, not really landing into a whole lot. Solo did receive a lot of damage, and ends up dying thanks to the nades from sound. Now Wind, he's going to capitalize on the tag, but a nade, a great nade from Rap, is going to equalize this thing. All of a sudden, is the 3-for-2 trade in favor of Wolves. 3 versus 2 now only. Rap alongside with Cartel, they're trying to prevent the bomb plan, and they do it in a huge fashion. Only 45 seconds, and on top of it all, they know where the bomb is at. Now it's only King alive. He's got a sniper, and with a sniper, it's going to be quite difficult in this position. That's something that need to be aware of.
King's going to creep up on this, walks himself into a position, fakes the timing as if he's gone around the back. Do OUG blink? Are they flustered?
Well, one question mark.
King's going to fly forward, misses the first shot, checks out, hits the second though. Reposition coming in from Raf, who's been brilliant all tournament and does enough to finally clutch up in round 3 in a moment where it looked like King had done the impossible.
Yes, and even by picking up that Odin, I was fairly impressed, not only because of the insane shot he landed, but how quickly he realized, all right, there's a weapon here, I'm going to take it because the sniper is not going to be the best option, but even better than an Odin, of course, is a shotgun coming down from Rav. He was not able to defend himself in that situation. Now Tank is going to immediately drop on this round.
Well, if you are a Wolves fan and wondering how you get back into this, King opening up with a sniper should be very welcome news because we asked for that. Helps his team immensely with the numbers advantage. It's still about punching through players like Cartels though, who has not been shifted from this backside. We saw just how good the Wolves nades were into Cube a moment ago to clear it out, to catch Solo. That would be very helpful right now as well as the repositioning over towards A comes through.
Oh wow, those shots so close, yet so far he of course has no idea, but my goodness. Tectonic, let's remind it, died quite early, and now following through is also Kings, the one who gets the kill. Now 3v5. That's not news for the side of OG. That has happened before. This time around, they're also going to be losing Solo. They're also going to be losing Rap. And all of a sudden, it's a 1v5 where Wolves can take a very flawless and clean round, and that's exactly what they will get.
Yeah, it's not just they take the round, it is, as you said, that it's clean. It was dominant inside the round. So have Wolves started to find a way to do better on these attack rounds. They're still down 3-1. They'll need to repeat that a few more times to feel comfortable before they go on defense. But that was better. King up on top here, goes for the jump shot, hits nothing. Tries to repeat that towards Grandma's. Clearly has an intended target. OUG though will return to their positions. 2 players tucked up towards Cube. 1 through the middle overwatching the B-bomb, and 2 in that back corridor. I'd say other than the player who tends to stand Grandma's, it's very little of an adjustment.
And although a lot of teams, a lot of the times, definitely rush in a lot when it comes down to the offensive side here on stand-up.
Oh my god.
It's the second time that we've seen that, by the way. They're just a millimeter away from hitting that shot, but not quite. Unfortunate for them. But yes, a lot of the times, a lot of teams go for the offense quite aggressively here on stand-up. This time around, Wolves playing a lot for the picks. It has worked once, but outside of that, although they've had advantages, they end up losing rounds. And like you mentioned, they need to avoid getting too far back in this first half.
Solo gets caught out by Peg. It's the double chow that actually comes through for Wolves. Doesn't have to pay out the shot that's missed. Trade, pinstripe. 3-3 then. However, what that has handed to Wolves is the bomb site and plenty of space. Cartels could be the difference maker. Huge fight here in the back line. Sounds just about stays up. Falls a little bit of a shake. Bomb going down, and Cartels wins the fight though with the headshot. 2v3. The problem for Wolves is, well, you should have been trapped in, but Cartels backs off and allows Wolves a post-plant position.
The Cartels factor is crazy. It is just crazy. You can never say that OUG is done if Cartels is alive. Right now at 3v2, it's not the greatest for Wolves, but at the have planted the bomb. King with a sniper shot onto Tectonic. Less than 20 seconds left. Sai missing that shot does not matter. Why? Because the timer's still ticking. Kings takes the knock, but immediately trade back by King. Now 1v1 Cartel. King and Cartel. He's trying to defuse. He's trying to bait him out. What he doesn't know is that the bait is not going to land. Because generally, I don't even think he had an audio cue. He was just slowly walking by, and he knew where he was going to be.
That moment there where Cartels gets the kill, for me, he's got to push up into their backline. It then doesn't allow Wolves out, or at the very least, he potentially picks up a kill and makes the situation even better. The fact that Wolves are allowed to back off with their two snipers just made the retake so hard for OUG. How they may look back at that and wish that they'd been a bit more clinical with their numbers advantage. Either way, it doesn't matter, you got to get on with it, and Raf will find himself inside Brown with the shotgun. No one died. You hear the bullets ringing out. King, by the way, who's up to 8 kills after 2 rounds. We saw 0 on there, so he certainly stepped it up, and that is no doubt what's helping Wolves back into this on their offense side.
That's right. Right now, Wolves are trying to even those numbers. The bomb is going to be taken there by Peg. Slowly being moved over A site. Not quite committing to it, at least not yet. There's no real need. A whole minute is ahead of them, and the first bloods are about to come through. King finds one, but immediately gets traded by Solo. All of a sudden, it's a 4v4. Taking a look onto Rafa, taking a look onto Sai now with a sniper. Some smoke in the middle of the map is gonna cause some confusion. People can walk by a bit safer than without it, of course. Through the van, it's going to explode. And that's a kill going for Win, but immediate trade back by the hands of Tectonic is a 3v3.
Win manages to slip by the van, finds one. The cover from Tectonic wasn't there, sorry, from Cartels wasn't there, and it got even worse as Zai was there to protect his brother and pick off the player. Bomb goes down for Zai. Raf's going to creep. Do you read the play to your left? The answer's no. So after being 3-0 down, I was very worried for Wolves. ROUG about to claim this upset. However, they answer back with 3 rounds in a row. The adjustments come in, the players that we asked to step up do, and we're tied at the half.
That's exactly why I said this map was going to be completely unpredictable. Would I have expected a 3-0 lead for OG? No. Would I have expected Wolf to then tie it up 3-3? No, too. It is just so crazy to see that these teams are taking it a single step at a time. And there's the first blood, to no one's surprise, in the hands of Cartels, and continues to push in. Look how deep they are onto enemy's territory.
It's an extremely different strategy to anything we saw from Wolves. The aggression from OUG, it's not just in the respawns.
Wild.
They love it in the S&D too. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. Better is certainly the name here as Tectonic gets the bomb down. King does pick up Solo, but Raf finds Win to maintain the numbers advantage, and then also reads the plane through the back. So OUG show their first hand here, the first page of their book on standoff on offense, and that is to be very quick through gas, get themselves into that beat bomb. Now it's about what else do you possess, because Wolves will adjust for that. They'll understand that that's something that could come through. Do you keep them on their toes? Well, no, it looks like very aggressive, this time straight through Brown.
Oh my goodness, and this time is working to perfection in favor of Wolves. They immediately take 3 kills, and only Cartels and Kings are going to survive. They could try to come up with something, but that is just atrocious news for the side of OUG. And that's the type of risks that you can encounter, you know? When you are not only getting into enemy's face, you're pretty much giving them a kiss in the cheek. Well, they can't just turn their fist into your face and be the one who punch back. And that's exactly what Wolves did in this round, as they are trying to once more even things out, and they have a perfect opportunity to do so.
I think it's one of the things that make Wolves one of the best teams in the world. They can match aggression with aggression when needed. They're very happy to play their opponent's game at times because they're just as good at it as anyone else in the world. What you've got here, though, is still a 3v5. Wolves have decided to back off. Happy to let you try and plant. If you do get the bomb down, we'll just overwhelm. Or even better yet, Zai will find King's forehead through the pipe and make it ever sweeter. Cartels in the 1v5. I don't really fancy your chances, and for good reason. So 4-4 then, 1 apiece. Nothing to split these two teams, whether it be on offense or on defense. We've seen 2 very different plays come out of OUG here, but both have relied on aggression.
Yes.
I wonder if this is where we start to see something a bit more patient.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to be aggressive. Look at them go, throwing a lot of things, but... Okay, according to the minimap, they're not going to be crossing as many lines as before. They definitely did go ahead and try to position themselves in quite a spot. Look at Solo, already trying to push with a shotgun, not going to pay off as he gets sniped. Same thing for Cartels. Atrocious startup around yet again for OG.
It felt like they were neither here nor there. It was kind of aggressive, kind of passive. But the problem is, that leaves you in no man's land.
Yes.
And Wolves smoke you for it. So they're going to have to slow this down now. They won't be left with much of a choice. Nade's going to go over here towards Cube. I mean, it doesn't connect either. What you'd have done for it, I mean, just a bit of information. A kill would have been icing, really. Kings will hear the nade, but it misses. Checks out towards the bomb. Sees Zai, and Zai says, shoot what you want, brother. I don't want to fight you. I just need to know you're there.
He would have picked that kill. Really, really good momentum shift for OG. Unfortunately not for Kings. It's just not going to be the case. He knows that they're there, but he knows that if he goes forward, he's going to be exposing himself way too much. It is not the safe bet to do. And for that same reason, you said it yourself. Are they going to calm down? They definitely did slow things down, but they are still trying to be as quote-unquote fast as possible.
What you were hoping, I guess, is to drag more bodies over towards A to let your two teammates hit B. That never comes through. Wolves don't fall for it. And Kings left now in a 1v4. Will retrieve the bomb. But that will signal towards the push forward. Gets you a kill if you're Kings. What more can you do here realistically? The answer's probably going to be very little with 8 seconds on the clock. And it's nothing as Win shoots you in the back. So a great answer. The one concerning thing for me there is, as we said, OUG kind of pushed, kind of didn't. You can't have that indecisiveness. It's got to be a clean, consistent rollout. And OUG, you're going to have to figure it out in this next one.
Let's see if they do this time around. Round number 10, ladies and gentlemen. This is getting more and more interesting. A lot of things are going to be thrown in. Once again, they're going to fight here to the death, rough to the ground. The next one is going to be King Solo. Cannot do absolutely anything. OG trying to defend back. That's going to be Cartels finding one. That's going to be Tectonic finding another. And then King trying to fight back. Not going to be possible. 3 kills now going for in favor of OG. And all of a sudden it's a 1v2. Peg is completely on his own. This was a 2v5. And it got ugly for the side of Wolves.
Tectonic gets awful timing. Do you see Peg cross now? You do. So Cartels waits and finds the kill to tie us up at 5 apiece. Got overtime written all over this, but wonderful stuff there. What I do for a replay of that moment, because it looked like Wolves had won the gunfights initially, and Tectonic pops off in the back line and just gets you that route on through that Wolves couldn't handle. Tied up again. Nades go out, so the aggression has worked so far, and while you're still going to get squeezed out towards this outside, it's actually a kill from Solo on Wind at the A bomb that's going to actually force a rotation in. OUG think they've got map presence here.
Incredible situation because that opens a lot of room. They're going to be throwing nades. There's another kill for Kings and a double. Looking for a triple, destroying the side of Wolves. There's only one alive. They can plant the bomb, they can rush for the kill, they can do whatever they want. The open map is for hunting in OUG's name. And ladies and gentlemen, OUG right now are going to have a match point opportunity to eliminate Wolves of the tournament.
How do you respond if you're Wolves, the tournament favourites, staring down the barrel of back-to-back years in top 8, top 6? It is a tough situation for them. For OUG, you can feel the momentum shift. You can feel the confidence riding through them. They only need to get it right once here. 90 seconds on the clock. It's very aggressive throughout the backside of B. King reads it, finds the shot onto Cartels. Raph tries to counter with the shotgun, doesn't come through. Sounds does enough.
Sound is more than enough. Tectonic here, trying for the wall mice, not gonna land onto absolutely anybody. Bomb is under the hands of Tectonic. He's not too sure what to do. King's in here with the opportunity, but suffers a lot of pain, a lot of damage. Wind is gonna find that kill onto Kings, and that's just bad for the side of OG. 2v5. They've done it before. Can they do it again?
You slow things down if you're OUG. Recognizing you don't want to force this He's just got to find a pig. Solo could get in behind King here and does find side in the process. Didn't read the King was nearby, but you do get coverage from Tectonic, who gave up on the bomb plan. Must have been a call from Solo. I'm in a position here. Hang on a second, help me. Wind at A will be the isolated player. Other than that, you've got two bodies in front of you if you're OUG.
Oh. As he plants the bomb, they pick Tectonic. Other side, that got bad for the side of OG. 35 seconds. He tries to reposition and he's doing well, but is he gonna be late? He definitely is going to be late. There's not enough time. It was way too difficult. Good effort on OG's side, but Enigma were once again jumping onto the OT territory.
Been blessed with some incredible games on the B stream through this week. 250, 249s, that is plural, and multiple overtimes. Let's get it then. Wolves will attack first. It was even when they played this. The early rounds were a struggle, but they made the adjustments to count. OUG, it's a very similar strategy to what we saw the whole time on defense. 2 players towards B, 2 players at the A cube, 1 around grandmas. Cartels sometimes plays high, sometimes plays low. This time it's the back tank he's decided is the position for him. And Tech's just going to continue to hold that back line that has not been broken so far through this afternoon.
Throughout both halves, we saw completely different strategies from both OUG and Wolves when it comes down to offense and defense. This time around, once again, Wolves taking it slow, 1 step at a time. So far, no one has died, and there's still a minute on the clock. What are you going to try to do? It seems like they want to push towards B. That's exactly what OUG may have realized in here. There's King with the first blood, looking to get the second, gets a shot, but not a kill. His allies are going to be there to try to finish them off, and he does. Well done on Cartel. That's the 2-for-2 trade.
Cartels also reaches another player out towards this backside, but you pick the correct corner, you have the teammates to support. Anyway, the trade doesn't come through. Sounds finds 2. And a 1v2 then. King over the top of the bomb. Side's going to be a distance off towards the fountain and finds the final blow. 7-6. Wolves' attacks have been perfect in the last 4. OUG, it's been a mixed bag in their recent run, but they're going to have to make it work now.
It was crazy, it was crazy. The fact that Sounds was not traded was incredible news for Wolves, and that's a big part of why what happened. They are gonna immediately go for a push. Wind, bang, King, oh, they're getting a kill. The Sun is still alive. Only a 3-for-1 trade. That's super bad for the side of OG. They're trying to go for it. The action never stops. They're trying to back out, but it's too late. I feel like it is. It's a 4v2.
2023. World champions were hanging on by a thread just 2 rounds ago. Now, they've got themselves in a position to punch their ticket to the next round. The resilience they have shown is truly on the level. And there goes Kings, leaving just Tectonic by the fountain to hold his own, and he will not. The returning, retired King, who wants to reclaim his throne, will finish it off here in what has been a, quite frankly, ridiculous series in Poland.
Ridiculous is, oh my goodness, I cannot believe what just happened. And just as you mentioned, the 2023 champions, they had their backs against the wall, and they managed to tie it up. They managed to get an advantage. They managed to get the victory. Solo in here, nearly throwing a wall down. He's not happy about what happened, but he's not sad, you know. He's not crushed. It's understandable. They gave their best. They just showed us how well they're made of. They come in short, but what a show they provided in the way.
Oh, 100% OUG have been incredible entertainment, both inside the venue and on the main stream. It's a tough game to look at, to be fair. If you are Solo, 4 and 12 is just a rough stat line. But it's not all that. It's a case of 2 great teams squaring up, separated by a fine thread. A couple of moments where play calls come in that will be important. A couple of play calls came in that we're unsure of. I think there, OUG, while we've asked for them to fully commit to even the aggression.
Este personaje por ver el campeonato de multijugador, así que simplemente hay que estar pendiente, colocar el
No conozco una película, casi de cuando chica, no la quiero de bajar.
más grande de COD Mobile, en donde va a estar jugando un Meeting Dream. Pero si no saben qué rollo, no saben a qué equipo apoyar, Ingresa. O sea, ese equipo es no.
So I would say when it comes to like raging, having a bad mood, it would be Eeyore. He's the one that's like, he don't like snaps the fastest.
It'll probably be Kings, honestly. He's very passionate, you know, so his rage is very justified at point.
It's between Rihan and Yuki.
I think for me it's Christian.
I think it's pretty obvious it's Marvel.
我觉得我们队里都挺容易急眼的。
Oh, that's me. That's me. Yes, that's me.
Probably me. I think I have a bad habit of speaking really fast to the point where I just like fumble my words, honestly. So it's a bad habit.
BP.
Maybe Kings can be Suiwa, I think so. I don't know. I think Suiwa.
I think it's Warden.
我们队里面应该是 Zero 的沟通，有的时候他可能会着急。 就是也许人在这个位置，他会当时可能被他打掉的第一时间，他会报错别人的位置，就可能比较急。然后有的时候他会说一些就很好玩的话，对。
Probably Kings. Honestly, he's somebody who once again takes those home runs really passionately. So I think he'll take the trophy on that.
Me.
I think it might be Christian because he doesn't like to lose any game.
I think it will be me.
我觉得我们队内1v1最强的选手是 Curly， 而且我觉得所有队伍都应该小心使用了 OnePlus 的 Curly。
For Yopi, I chose the emoji muscle because he looks muscular and he likes going to the gym. Then for me, I chose the emoji of a brain just because I think I have a great mental in terms of in-game, outside. I think I have great mental. Susano, I chose a sleeping emoji just because that's what he reminds me of it. So that's why I chose sleeping. For Chloe, I put a emoji that is smiling just because this emoji reminds me of him just because he's a chill guy. So he's just a chill guy. That's why I chose this emoji. For Candy, it's pretty straightforward. Every time I see a glasses emoji, I remember him. So that's why I chose glasses. Then for Olea, just to make you guys understand, I chose a heart and a grown person just because the whole team thinks of him as a father and a friend of ours. So that's why I chose it.
First off is me, FDX. So I chose this emoji just because I'm always tired and every time I play I just get so tired. Next up is Kurd. I chose this emoji because he's really like an unpredictable guy. So Jai, I picked Cold because he's ice cold. For me, he's really the best in our team. He's our star player. Clove, I chose this emoji just because he always laughs all the time. He's always crazy, gives our energy up and everything. Griff, I chose this emoji for him because he's always like sleeping. For me, I'm tired, but he's always sleeping. Palitao, on the other hand, I chose this emoji for him just because he creates a wonderful place for us, for the team. He's basically our coach. Always stay up, creating those great plays just for us to win those trophies. So yeah, that's basically it. I think it's everyone. I cannot say.
I believe the greatest of all time will be, his name is Sai from Wolves. He has achieved a lot of MVPs.
In my opinion, PJ and Unzai are really demons in the game.
I think the best tactician player right now is Zai.
The best tactician, I think it's Zai.
I think the best tactician player in this tournament I've played against, it must have been Susano from Elevate.
For sure, it's Lucasin from Galleries.
Recently, from recent tournaments, it will be PJ that has, I believe, the best aim.
Zai. I think the player that has the best aim would be Lucasin.
In my humble opinion, I think Lucasin has the best aim in the game. I've seen his gameplays. I think his aim is really good.
I would go with Oling from Q9.
Due to trophies and achievements, will be Sai from Wolves.
Right now, I'd give it a Zai. I think that gold must be Zai.
The greatest, I would say Zai. It's gonna be me in the future.
We believe it's in communication because communication is key to like the whole game sections.
For me, communication.
In my opinion, we need to be a mix like skill and communication.
The thing that determines victory the most is communication because it's a team-based game.
For Animus and me, I think it's communication.
Communication is really important, but you can do nothing if you don't have skill.
It will be over-egoing things. You think you're confident, very confident, but it brings you down when you face difficult teams.
The most mistake probably is gonna be don't be ready for the fights in the game. So don't be ready for everything when like go too fast and they didn't be ready.
Being overconfident sometimes.
Mistakes that less experienced players do is their lack of confidence. Just because when you don't have confidence, you can do what you do in practices, you can show your true game.
Aggressive, number one. I'm also passive. Third is unpredictable.
Rushable and flexible.
Calm, aggressive, the same thing. And the last word is gonna be ready.
Me as a coach, I like aggressive play style, doing like a lot of response trap, doing transitions between the hard points, faster, fastest.
What's up, guys? Ayo Raf. So, we're currently going to be going through a pro player's loadout. I am personally a sub and heavy player, so I'm a machine gun and shotgun player. But my personal favorite in this meta is probably going to be the VMP. The USS is a great gun, but the VMP takes that throne for #1 spot, honestly. So, I'll be showing you guys my personal and everybody's loadouts in the pro player. All right, and the adjustable, heavy barrel, great attachment to use. Gotta go with the rapid fire, it's crucial. And this one's honestly where a lot of pro players differentiate. I personally like the integrated grip set, but other players do like the Phoenix grip set. It just comes down to how you like to play as a player person. I'd probably go for the integrated grip set though. And then for secondaries, honestly, melees are the best. I feel like pistols are overrated. You know, you got to go with the gloves, boxing gloves, prize fighters, Mike Tyson, you know what I mean? It's really, really good stuff to use. Down to the operator, I personally am a fan favorite of the equalizers. It's really, really fun, just running gun, Rambo style, really, really great. The 3 perks, gotta go lightweight, you gotta go gun-ho. Toughness is honestly really, really good too, but I believe personally gun-ho would be the best one to go for. The third option for the blue perks, you gotta go with dead silence. It's a crucial must-have. Now, obviously in pro players, you know, you gotta use these 3 score streaks. You gotta go EMP, Predator Missile, and Hunter Killer Drone, because obviously everything else is banned. But yeah, honestly, that looks like a great loadout. You know, got the frag grenade. Actually, I'm one of the individual. I'll put you on a secret. I personally like sticky grenades. I think they're low-key, very underrated. Besides that, this is my loadout.
Basically, our best map is everything in the chub set. Our worst map is none.
My best map will be Summit as a shotgun. Shotgun is very powerful in Summit. And my worst map will be Standoff.
My best map probably Hacienda. I really love that map. And my worst map, I didn't like to play Apocalypse at all.
My worst map is Summit, and my best map would be Hacienda.
My best map is Tunisia, and my worst map is Corona.
I would remove all the SMG.
I will actually remove the Type 63 is really broken.
Probably USS-9.
The one weapon I would remove would be the Type 63.
The Type 63.
I could say it's fair, but at the same time, Type is still overpowered and it can still ruin the experience, just for me.
Believe it or not, I think it's really fair this year because there has been a lot of game rules with the updates, the nerfs, the buffs. I believe it's pretty fair this year.
Right now, it's really fair for me. Like the XM4 in the competitive scene, like XM4, VNP, and Odin also, they are really good. But yeah, it's fair enough for me.
I think with a couple exceptions, if you take out 2 weapons, I think the balance is pretty good.
Today, for me, it's not really fair because it's the same meta since a long time. So I would like to change, and maybe the SMG are too good with the USS-9. So if we can go on a rifle meta, for me, it would be perfect.
Hi guys, I'm FDX, the captain for Stalwart Esports, and here is my loadout. I'm gonna start with the loadout. Since I'm a sniper man, I usually go with the Tundra. Even if it's nerf, it's okay. So here's my loadout for it. So I'm gonna first put the muzzle here. As you can see, oh, it's not upgraded, so let's upgrade it first.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty Mobile World Championship Day 2. Hopefully you guys stuck with us over there on Stream B. Shout out to Gil and Enigma for getting us through that action because that was a long match. Insane between OUG and Wolves, and let's talk about that a little bit because that's what we were waiting to conclude to get to this final matchup of the day.
It was a pretty good game, to be fair, wasn't it? I mean, the hard points were incredible. The search and destroy goes all the way, but for OUG, it's that pain of the search and destroy once again. Lose the control as well. I mean, you forced it, the issue. They played quite well in that final map specifically as well. Just broke down towards the end. Wolves with a great comeback. Absolute banger.
Yeah, I mean, listen, OUG, S-tier team, you know what I'm saying, baby? Listen, they got those hard points. They did it in the end, but unfortunately, as you said, it was the search and destroys that do befall them. It's unfortunate, but again, if OUG, for a team that literally had 2 to 3 weeks of practice after being out of the game for a month or so, top 6, that is a perfectly fine finish, and on a global level, that's probably where I'd put them as a team.
100%, but I do want to talk about how that now impacts what we're about to see here, Ton, because, I mean, Wolves looked tired, understandably so. It's been a long day.
I mean, you've had to go to overtime in a map 5 just to get to this stage. Stalwart have had their feet up 3-0 against Galorus.
Yeah.
Transfer a little bit of food, maybe some scrims, some VOD. Wolves, you finish it up. You finish that final round. Come back in the search and destroy. Get on the main stage, boys. You've got another game to get into.
I mean, this is going to be a really fun way to close out the day here, Brody, because we've got 2 juggernauts here in our lower bracket. So this is going to be an epic matchup.
Oh, it absolutely is as well. And I think this is just one of those situations where it's just like, look, Wolves, former world championships, they're still in the conversation to see a team make it to, well, 2 world championships. Nobody has done that yet. Elevate's done that conversation as well. So Wolves getting through this would be crucial. But also you've got kind of on the other side, right, this stalwart team that has last year, top 8 finish for them. They were not happy with that. They kind of overhauled their roster coming into this year. And, well, now they are up there. They are literally an S-tier team. And, you know, I'm really excited to see whether or not they can get through Wolves, because I think this is kind of the, I want to say, the gatekeeper in a way of just like, if they beat Wolves, yeah, they're 100% amongst it.
And of course, that means whichever team loses is eliminated from the competition. Whoever wins will move on, stay alive, and wait to see who drops down from our winners finals. So, I mean, there's a lot on the line for these teams, but still, we've made it quite far in the competition here so far. I'm excited to close out the day with these 2, especially. I know that we've been talking about them for quite some time, and like you mentioned, Ton, 3-0 in Galorus for the Stalwart Esports side of things, so they're going to be feeling pretty confident coming into it.
I think there is a lot to be said about that kind of indication when you do get to the latter stages of a day in a tournament. You have that I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? The endurance, realistically, for these teams, and that is where it really starts to pay. Have you been fueling correctly? Have you been making sure you get your water in? It's all part and parcel of being an esports player. In any of these esports, you need to keep yourself energized at the right time.
Now, let's talk about individuals who could potentially be impactful for this final match here, Brody, because obviously we've been watching them go throughout the bracket so far, but they're both on long days. They're both going to be tired, and they both need to play all out in the last match. So who could do that?
I mean, look, I think for Stalwart, we've had a lot of conversation around Jai, right? He is the guy. And I think, you know, Jai has just been such a phenomenal player to watch over the course of both Garena Masters, Garena Finals, and now here at Champs. But I don't think we've seen him full send it yet. I don't think we've seen him in a situation where Jai has been dropping the 60 bombs, right, that he was doing in his own region. So I think Jai, for me, is definitely the guy if we're looking over towards Stalwart. I think for Wolves, though, it has to be Zai in a way, right? I mean, Zai is just that guy, right? He is just, you know, legendary in Call of Duty Mobile for a reason. He's been at this for years, and every single time we've seen him perform, I mean, he's been one of the best in the game for a reason. So yeah, I feel like those two players for me, if I had picked two, one from each team, it's probably those guys.
Now, don't forget, everybody at home, obviously, our players had to finish that match, go straight into then figuring out their picks and bans, and then we'll be getting them up here on the stage to finish everything out for the day. But based off of what we've seen out of our series so far, Ton, talk to me about strengths when it comes to the map and mode options for both of these teams.
I think from what we've seen from Stalwart is that they're just very, very well-rounded, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything particular for me that necessarily stands out. I mean, everything has been solid from what we've seen specifically over this weekend. For Wolves, one of their strengths is just grinding some of these results out, to be honest with you. Like, they got put in some poor positions throughout that game up against OUG and managed to find a comeback. And I think especially when you've seen the map number 4 and how OUG came back in that hard point, for them to go into that search and destroy, be behind and have to win like 3 or 4 rounds in a row just to get the win. I think just resoluteness. I think for both these two teams, they've had to go through the grind. And for me, that's the strength that they're both going to then have to go up against each other with.
I mean, clutch under pressure is a very real and important thing, Brody.
Yeah, 100%, right? I mean, you don't get to this point in the tournament without having some clutches. I think every single player on the team has been part of it, for sure. Yeah, and I think you're going to need to do more of that as we get through these kind of teams, right? You're going to be in situations where you're going to have to pull up 1v2s, 1v3s, 1v4s, and search and destroys, beg clutch ups with the operators in the respawns as well. I'm expecting to see a lot of that. And I think more than anything as well, just keep your heads cool, right? You're on a big stage here. This is a really tense moment. You're in the lower bracket. And if you lose this matchup, your tournament lives here, your 2025 lives in Call of Duty Mobile is done. So I think, you know, just keeping yourselves cool, calm, and collected as much as possible, given the fact that there's so much money on the line here for this tournament. I think that's really important.
Do you have any expectations, Brody?
For this series?
Yeah.
Are you asking me for a prediction?
No, not a prediction. Even if you just want to say, like, a map that you know for certain is going to be coming out. Just in general, any expectations? Because I think
I can see the vetoes personally, but
you can see the vetoes. Don't be spoiling, mate. Come on now. Ah, man, it's so difficult. I don't know. I feel like Fire Range Search and Destroy wouldn't surprise me if that got in here, because I believe that's a really comfortable map for both Stalwart and for Wolves. So it wouldn't surprise me if that got in. But it also equally wouldn't surprise me if, you know, that was something that Wolves are like, hey, we're really good on a lot of SD maps. Let's just get that one out of there. But yeah, if I had to pick one map just off the dome, probably Fire Range.
Look at Chris with all of his information.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
You might be right.
That's the first time I think you've ever said that.
The broken clock is run twice a day.
Yeah, there you go.
I love that. We're going to be able to verify all of that here in just a second as we're waiting for our teams to get themselves set up and ready to go. If you all are just joining us at home, this is the last match here of day 2 on Stream A. This is going to be a team deciding their fate in the tournament. Who will make it through to see tomorrow? Which team will be eliminated? That's going to be happening right now. And it is 2 teams between Stalwart Esports and Wolves that have had to fight tooth and nail all day long to survive to this point. I think it's going to be a really, really good match, at least especially when it comes to our storylines. What we were talking about, even heading in to this land, the teams that we expected to be at the top, we are seeing a lot of those names in those exact positions that people had been hoping for. So while we are waiting just a few more minutes, chat, let us know your thoughts as well. Who do you think is going to be clinching up here in the lower bracket? Who do you want to see moving on in the competition? While keeping in mind, just the reminder that we also do have Elevate and Q9 at the top of our bracket.
I think for me, realistically, as you were saying, like in terms of the top teams making this spot, I don't think anyone would have been necessarily too surprised at the top four that we've got here. I think it's pretty. I wouldn't say it was ever set in stone, but I'm not looking at it thinking, oh, I didn't expect that team to be that. I mean, exclusive aren't in there, and I did not. No, okay, no, I don't want to clown on that. But I thought Gallerus maybe would have been the team who could have possibly broken through on that side of things potentially. Other than that, though, would you maybe OUG kind of finish where we expected? It's kind of been as expected is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, actually. You know, it's before the tournament, right? I think a lot of people were saying that the top four that we have in this tournament right now are definitively the top four in the world.
Correct.
And I think you're right. You know, OUG maybe would have been in that conversation, again, had they had more practice. I mean, had they just qualified initially straight via CDM, then yeah, maybe OUG would definitively be in that conversation because we had seen them beat Wolves. You know, we had seen them, beat Q9. So yeah, I think, you know, OUG would have been in that conversation. I think Gallerus are kind of just outside of that top five, I think, really, for me. I think, you know, they haven't been able to consistently beat the top teams, and I think that's what you need to do to get into that conversation. But yeah, certainly I think the teams that we've got into this tournament are the teams right now that are top four. So I absolutely love that. There hasn't been too many surprises outside of obviously kind of getting the likes of Street into playoffs.
Yeah, and even though we haven't had many surprises, we've had some absolute bangers.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of been indicative of the conversation we heard pretty much straight away from PJ in the very first game. The level seems to have raised. So yes, okay, we are getting the people who are probably supposed to win their games. They are going to win, but it is never ever been a whitewash for the most part. Yes, okay, there's been some games that have been a bit of a blowout, but you know, there's been back and forth at least. There has been times at Call of Duty Mobile Championships where we've really had like later games and the teams just getting blown out of the water. I don't want to jinx this one, in absolute fairness, and I don't think I will. I think we've been fine on this side of things, but it really has been close. The competition's been really high.
100%. I think that really just kind of speaks to the Call of Duty Mobile competitive scene on the whole. Year over year, we are seeing our individual players and our teams across all of our regions improving, getting better, constantly trying to reach the level of whichever region or team is the best that year. And it just shows how dedicated our entire community is to really improving, growing as a scene. It's something that you really love to see.
And I think I always kind of relate it back to the days of, because obviously I'm both mostly from mainline COD. That's kind of our history. And we, way back in the day, European teams kind of were in this situation. You know, it was always difficult when you come to the big global events, but they kept coming to those events, and they were playing against the better teams, and they got better and better and better. And I remember the first time a European team ever won like a main event. And one day, boys, we're going to get it on.
It's going to happen. Who's to say what happens next year? But it's time for us to start the ceremony of getting into our last match of the day. Ian, let's get the teams on it.
Let's indeed do just that. It's been a long old day of COD Mobile here at the World Championships 2025, full of heartbreak and triumph, but there are still some more arms to be raised and hearts to be broken as our lower bracket gauntlet continues. Two teams that have shown some incredible grit and determination to get to this point, but this is their final lifeline. For one of them, the journey ends here and now. Let's bring out our two teams, starting with Wolves. They were the favourites coming in, and they have had a tough old time of it. You've just seen them over on Stream B make it to this point. The Wolves continue on their mission to claw themselves out of this lower bracket. Their opponents is Stalwart Esports. They beat OUG, lost to Q9, beat another opponent in Gallerus, and now they walk into the den. Stamina is everything for these two teams. Glitter, I can genuinely feel the tension up here. And these guys, every single one of them sitting at their stations, have had such a long, tough day to get to this point. Who will hold it together and clutch up for the final time tonight?
I love the reference that Ian made there about the, Stalwart coming into the den. Love that, Ian. Great wordplay to get our final two squads in, ready to go on the stage. Stalwart Esports versus Wolves. We heard the pre-game cheer coming out of Wolves just a few seconds ago as our players are going to get themselves settled and everything prepared to go while we start some analysis here, because you said that you saw them come through, Ton.
Yeah.
We've got our picks and bans. We're going to get them pulled up here so we can start talking about what our players decided for this last match.
I'd be very curious to see. Oh, Brody was right. There we go. Map number 5 was a firing range. I did see it. But yeah, Hacienda. And then, of course, we'll be going to Coastal along the Crossfire. And map number 4 will be Slums if we need it in firing range for map number 5. I think one thing I do want to point out before we get into the weeds here, because this is the first time I've actually had a chance to actually properly have a look, and I'll give Brody a chance to have a look as well. Just one thing I did want to point out, we were talking about the endurance, we were talking about the stamina. Wolves have played only one of the maximum maps they could have played today. Every game -1 has been a 3-2 grueler. So you would like to think that Stalwart have the edge as far as the actual energy that they're going to have going into this one. Wolves are really going to have to.
Yeah, I mean, look, I knew that firing range just because obviously I just watched CDM. I think I watched like 6 weeks of CDM straight. That's a pretty standard kind of CDM map at firing range. Do you remember like SBS Season 4 when we would have like NA just picking firing range, or E picking firing range, like every single series? That's basically like CDM every time a Chinese team would play. It's a very popular map in CDM, and Wolves, well, they happen to be very good at it. Also happens to be a very good map for a Stalwart. So go into a map number 5 in this series, which I assume all 3 of us in the desk hope happens. It would be an incredible end to the series and the day, because it is a strong map for both teams. That being said, if I'm Stalwart, I'm happy with that Crossfire. That's a very strong control map for them for sure. And that Coastal Search and Destroy, we saw Stalwart take it off of Q9 earlier on today. So honestly, if I'm Stalwart, if I feel like maybe the David in this situation, I'm feeling pretty happy with this map set.
And as well, having a look at Wolves' record over the CDM season, they barely played Hacienda. And obviously, it's a bit of a different process as far as picking bans. You do just kind of go on to pick your next map after the previous one. They barely picked it. Only played Hacienda twice over, 25 games of Hardpoint. That is not a lot at all. And it's a try and tested map for a lot of these different teams. So ST will probably feel nice about Hacienda.
Yeah, and actually just looking over towards the Crossfire control for Wolves, because I had an inkling. I was like, hang on, isn't that a really good map for Wolves? Yeah, it turns out it was. They were 9-1 on that map in season. Although it should be said, to be fair, I think you guys should kind of take a grain of salt for every single stat line you get from Wolves in season with CDM, because they pretty much ran through everybody in every mode, apart from Search and Destroy. They're 23-2 in Hardpoint and 17-3 in Control. So the maps they lost, few and far in between.
Well, you can see our players are going to be hanging out here, getting themselves ready. And honestly, the fact that after looking at what we've gotten through with our picks and bans, it still seems like there are scenarios where it could go in either team's favor is even more telling of just how close a level the competition is when we've gotten down to the top 4 teams in the world. We're now in this elimination bracket, and whoever wins, whoever loses, regardless, in both of these scenarios, we're talking about teams that deserve to be here, that have worked their butts off to get here. This is a great last match for the day.
Yeah, and I want to kind of specifically relate that to Stalwart as well. I kind of got a chance very briefly to talk about it earlier. I want to give a massive shout out to kind of Palatao, right? Because Palatao came in more or less at the same time as Cheyenne Reeve, and he basically overhauled this roster. Like, you could see it during Garena finals, where he was just coming in, talking to them kind of between games and stuff. And even though they lost that grand finals, Palatao's impact on this roster is huge. And I think that goes for kind of all the coaching staff of these top 4 teams. It's what really makes the difference. Like, yeah, you can have shooters, but you have to be able to kind of analyze what's going on with your team. If something's not going right, just make sure that you fix it. And that is what really separates these top 4 teams from the rest of the competition.
There's so many things that go into being the best of the best, eventually being the best in the world, being the team to etch your name in the history books of Call of Duty Mobile Esports. You can see the hand warmers are out. Stalwarts trying to get themselves ready, and as we've got the flyover coming in, Ton, Infinity, are you ready for the final cast of the day?
Well, here we go. I hope so, Lauren, and I hope these teams are ready to put on a show. Hacienda to kick things off. Just having a little browse whilst you two were having a chat there as well. Wolves, we were talking about Hacienda not being much of a pick. They've played it twice today. So obviously trying to get in the map a little bit more. They're 1-1 over the day on that map specifically. But let's see how it's going to go down when the chips really are down. A knockout game between Wolves and STE to end our Saturday. I mean, this should be an all-timer. Let's kick things off between Wolves and STE.
A reminder, folks, the loser of this match is done in the tournament. It feels kind of bad that we're eliminating teams like this, even at this stage of the competition, but somebody has to walk home in 4th place. Somebody has to walk home with a lesser share of the prize pool, as is always the case. Hardpoint, a big motor, excuse me. For both of these teams, really, of course, Wolves, notoriously the best hardpoint team in CDM. Stort, though, no slouches in the mode. It's catching up in hardpoint that got them as close to elevate as they did.
Let's see how they can do, because honestly, I've been impressed with their hardpoint over the games we've seen them at least. Let's see if they can bring that to the table here. And I think Hacienda, I just having a quick look there again. Obviously, we didn't get much of a chance to do the picks and bans that kind of coming at us live. Hardpoint Hacienda for STE isn't necessarily a big play map either, so both these teams not necessarily coming in with inexperience, but it's far from their very favorite mode. Good job by Zai. We'll find a couple of different kills over towards P1, make it the 3rd, and these are big kills for us to find. The transition over towards P2 is looking good for them as well. STE with a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah, you've lost a couple of those gunfights though if you're Wolves. King has a lot to do around the backline here. He gets overwhelmed. So still a pretty good position at the moment here. In control of those P2 spawns. That is a full yellow feed here, ton. But now Wolves, they are trying to get around the backline.
Yeah, 50 seconds to go here over towards P2. A lot of time on the board. STE finding those kills. They must have heard me about the slow stop, but then Peg finds 3 out of nothing. That could be the catalyst for Wolves to get themselves inside of the point. 35 seconds or so remaining. STE holding on. And the kills from Peg are going to matter very, very little if the rest of Wolves can't follow it up.
Alrighty, well, ST, that is a wave of gunfight for them. 30 seconds left on this hardpoint still to go, and, well, it looks like still continuing. Those smokes will continue to go down here on hardpoint for as long as the hill is active. Oh, it's so difficult to see what's going on. It doesn't matter, though, because Clove and Skirt are just shooting through the smoke, and they're hitting targets.
Yeah, nicely done, ST8. Find a breakthrough almost immediately, and it's looking like they're going to hold down the majority of the time, if not all of it. FTX is going to bring in the Tempest, finds 2 on the transition as well. That's going to spawn out those players probably a little bit closer to their teammates either way, so not the end of the world. Zai now trying to lock down from the side of the well, but really nice start from ST. That was a wonderful hold, and operators ready to come in.
Clove would have liked to have stayed alive there. That would have been a nice distraction for the player up top, because now Wolves can effectively direct all of their attention towards that fences side. You've got to be careful about potential wayward spawns, though. You can see FTX through the X-ray as ST get control of the kills. Spawn now. FTX enough of a distraction here that still are able to break through the front.
Trying to find something through the side of 10. Skirt not able to land anything. So not necessarily wasted, but not necessarily great either. Peg not wasting the equalizers here, though. Here's 4 kills from Peg. Nice stuff from Wills, make it 5, and Peg will break it open on his own, but that happened over towards P2. They didn't follow it up this time around. Zai has done. Wills getting themselves back into the point. It's a high congestion. There comes the Predator missile. There is coming the break from Wolves.
And you know what? I actually really rate every bit of utilization we saw there from Wolves. Like, granted, it doesn't really amount to that much. Like, Stillwater are still in the mix here. They still want to make fences the mixy hard point that it normally is here in COD Mobile. Hacienda, but still investing 4 ops at that point and the Predator missile as well, just to try and close the gap to Stillwater is a good idea, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to find yourself down by 80, 90 points. And yeah, you can make a phenomenal comeback, but at this stage of the competition, at this level of competition, that's a very difficult thing to do.
Wolves finding plenty of kills on transition over towards P4 as that one pops. STE yet to get themselves on the board as far as kills in this specific moment. Clove can find 1. Push is now going to start coming through. It's coming from a couple of different angles here to the side of STE, but it's a nice setup from Wolves. Peg can find 2, but Reef and Clove combining, but Wolves getting the better of it. Might be a slow start from our Chinese team, but right now they're looking a little better. It's a 20-point game with 20 seconds or so left over towards P4.
I just got to point out, Zai and Peg right now, 21 kills apiece. They are so far ahead of the rest of their teammates. I don't know all the maps, but I don't think they're that far behind, getting the rest of them pretty much combined at this point. Stillwater, they are basically fighting 2 men on wards at the moment. This is a very mixy kill, though. Ton, getting this last 10 seconds would be crucial for both of these 2 teams. That's why you're seeing Sounds really go for it. And in the end, it looks like those final couple of seconds are going to go Stillwater's way. So 20-point advantage or so, given the fact that Stillwater were so far ahead before P4 Ton, that's a big kill for Wolves.
Stop the bleeding, to say the least, from 3 to 4. And now looking to try and get themselves set up a little bit better over towards P2, but again, it just feels as if both these two teams are taking turns to just have their flurry. And you are right. I mean, look at what Peg and Zai right now have a combined 50 kills. The rest of the team altogether have, what, 26 or something along those lines? I mean, they are absolutely frying right now for the squad on Wolves. But you need everybody else to be picking it up. You're 30 points down. ST getting some good time over towards P1 right now. Transition to P2 coming in third.
Hostiles have captured the hard point.
Wolves trying to get back in towards the hard point now. P1 is ever so mixy. Getting that topside control is crucial. That's why King is fighting for it so doggedly. We'll find 3 up top. Still 20 seconds left to fight for, though. This is big time for Stalwart if they could grab it away. And at the moment, it does just feel like they're just trying to fight through this hill to get that rotation. It's not happening, though. That's a full blue feed. Wolves have that rotate.
And at the same time, it was actually Clove who brought out the equalizers, completely wasted. Wiped out immediately, so that's a big win from Wolves. They find the transition, no equalizers on the board. Can you find the kills to back it up? Wind gets a couple on that backside now. Jai trying to find as much as he can with a War Machine here, and will get something through the smoke, and not just something, he'll find 2. He's finding hit markers as well. FDX doing so well. The setup was very much there from Wolves. They are not able to make it count.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you might well get those kills with the War Machine. The problem is, though, that those close spawns, you didn't have a couple of players to block them, so Wolves will get right back through. That's another equals, though, this time that kind of falls away. Stalwart now don't have to deal with that, and they're now back in, but Wolves, they're knocking.
And the problem is with Wolves, a couple of players like Peg and, of course, Zai having big games. When they're not popping off, it seems to be that the points are heavily going over towards STE. This time around, they can find a couple of kills, though. Wolves will find a way through with 20 seconds to play for. Back spawns here for STE as well. If Wolves can hold on, if Wolves can get them back out of this point, the transition over towards P3 will be looking nice. Sounds can find a couple. Wind will find another. Wolves are starting to pull this one back a little bit with 5 seconds to go. P2. It's the foot race over towards Fences.
And you can just see the desperation for both of the teams really to fight over what is effectively like 5 to 10 seconds of time, right? Again, these kind of margins, this close of a game, yeah, that time is absolutely worth fighting for. We go towards new, though. Split spawn starting to come through here. I was going to say I expected Sai maybe to play his life a little bit more than that, but that's a big shutdown regardless. Peg is going to keep that area of the map in play for Wolves, so that's going to split the attention of Stalwart ever so slightly here as this next hill pops.
And they look in a couple of different directions. No, they can't is the answer to the question. 3 kills coming in from Peg. They are coming in bunches. King, can he find anything else inside of 10? Yes, he can. 2 kills will fall his way. Not the third, not quite. SE trying their best to get back into this point. But Wolves fighting tooth and nail over it. 30 seconds to play for here, and it's a 30-second game.
This is always a mixy hill here, ton. Wolves going to get a wave of gunfights in their favor. Stalwart coming from one side of the map. And if Wolves can hold it, they will be in the lead for the first time in this game. And with those kills, Tom, from Zai, oh, from Zai, it looks like they might well do it.
How on earth has he found that 4th? He shuts them all down. Wolves getting into the swing of things here. It's a 10-point game. We're heading over towards P4, where Wolves was so successful in that previous rotation. We're starting to find the transitional kills as well. It's looking good for Wolves. ST had a really strong start, but this second rotation has been all Wolves.
It really has, hasn't it? They just get the better of a hill that, generally speaking, is considered mixy. If they can get this one as well, they will take control of the game. You're going to see War Machine investment coming out from Sounds. I love that preemptive War Machine, but it's going to get caught from a trophy. Sounds actually takes himself out of the play here, ton. So that's going to give Stalwart control.
He finds a little bit of value from it, but not quite as much as he would have thought from that position. Chai wins that gunfight as well, up against Peg. And now King, a water conducting electric gun. Maybe is that going to work out? Chai, he's going to fall, as is everybody else. Rick will drop in. Incredible work coming through from Wolves to get those points. Peg's not been a point with the equalizer whatsoever. And once again, it lets him down. SC doing a great job at soaking up some time, but Wolves, a couple of little fumbles.
I mean, it feels like every time Wolves would bring out an operator, right? Even 3 from the Tempest from King, it's immediately responded to by Wolves. You'll have Wind and Peg come out here with their own operators to keep themselves in the conversation, and yet still, that is a crucial hard point for a Stalwart. They'll invest a couple of ops to try and get the last bit of rotation and the rotation towards new away, but still, the fact that Wolves now get rid of 40 points or so on that hard point, STE now ahead in this game.
Very close game between these two, but STE were able to just about get it away. MTX just finds 3 out, absolutely nothing with the Tempest. Sensational work from him. STE now find themselves 40 seconds in lead, 45 seconds to play for here over towards P1. And that was a gunfight. You felt that Wind had to win. Now inside of the point, Wolves trying to soak up what they can, but it felt like a bit of a retribution for Wolves to a certain degree, but SC just put the pain in that final couple of moments over towards P4. This lead's not insurmountable, but it feels like a small hill to climb for Wolves right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's that lead, right? They managed to bring it back down to 0, but now it feels like the game's opened up just a little bit more, and so now Wolves have to focus on, again, picking up that scrap time, as well as pushing through. That wave of gunfights is certainly going to help, but the respawn timer is basically non-existent here in Call of Duty Mobile, so it won't be long before ST are right back at the next hard point. They should have first touch.
On the way over towards P2, Sounds is one massive gunfight, finds 2 over towards P2, and now he's waiting. He's waiting for the rest of SC to find their way through. Can he manage to find anything else? If anything else would be a bonus, he gets a third. No problem from Sounds, but where's the rest of the team? Are they combining? They're on their way through water. SC are the first ones inside, but Wolves will manage to find the break. FDX comes in and starts swinging. He can find one, as can Reef. STE seemingly find a way through.
Yeah, nice play as well from ST off the respawn. You see a couple of players like Skirt and Clove trying to make things happen on the flank through Rock. Keep sight out of the play, so the rest of Wolves are vulnerable. Now they have to fight though, because this is a manic hard point. Clove's going to convert 2 here with the equals. It's still going.
And there's not really much for Wolves to play with as far as the operators go. Absolutely nothing. But we can actually see that one player is going to manage to get something in. That's going to be Sounds. He's going to not bring anything in, but you can see the war machine coming through from Jai. 4 or 5 kills found. STE in complete control. 15 seconds to play for here at P2. Wolves have got to run away with their tail between their legs.
And they've just got to keep on hitting this as well, right? You're going to spawn up in the lobby. You can't give up 10 seconds when Store are this close to victory. So you've got to try and take this time away. It's nice for Peg to find 3, but he's so weak that he's not going to be able to complete the set and take FDX out of the play. So we go to New. Stalwart over here. Just 14 seconds. One player, Reef, trying to cause carnage. He gets shut down.
Operators available for STE as well. There's 3 ready to start causing havoc over towards the fences. Skirt's the only one who could find a kill, but everybody else from Wolves doing what they can, but Reef doing absolutely everything that he can for STE. There's Ball with the Sparrow. He may well line up more. STE find a way through. Wolves are going to fight back.
All you got to do is take everybody from Wolves out now with your ops, and that's exactly what Skirt wants to do. But Wolves, they're dogged. STE trying to close things out here. Nobody from Wolves will touch. And that's Stalwart kicking off, stealing a hard point away from Wolves. That's a big one.
It felt like they led the dance all the way through. And from the word go, they took the lead. They never lost it. Wolves came in maybe just a little bit cold and got caught. It's a massive map for Stalwart to try and find. And they do indeed find it. And it's just down to those operators towards that last hill we've seen. Go over towards P3, and when there's that amount of investment available, the returns are always going to be green. Big win for Stalwart in map number 1. And we did mention, we were talking about the lack of playtime here specifically on Hacienda for both these 2 teams. That's a really nice win for STE.
100%. Again, it has to be said that Wolves are phenomenal in hardpoint, right? So taking that away in this series, considering, you know, search and destroy is generally speaking where you're likely to take Wolves 100% of the time. It feels like, you know, coming out in the series, winning map number 1 is monumental. But yeah, I mean, we talk about kind of leads in this game. It felt like early on Store had started to build kind of what almost felt like an insurmountable lead. It got to like 50 to 60 points. And given the context of how mixy these hard points were, it didn't feel like that was going to come down. But we got to the mid game. Wolves managed to get a full 60, I believe it was on P2. They bring things back, and then we go over towards P4, I believe it was. That's where Store got another 40 points, and it really didn't feel like that deficit closed again.
And looking over these scoreboards, and again, something that you always try to not do as an analyst is counting towards the kills, but 51 and 30 and 50 and 39 for Zion Peg for the L, and not even that close. How many of those kills are really contributing to that win?
Yeah, I mean, I will say this much, right? We talk about it early on because we kind of mentioned it in the middle of the game. I think it was like Peg and Zai had 30 kills between, or a piece, I should say.
They slowed down. But
yeah,
I mean, it would have been hard to keep it up.
But I think more to the point here, it was the fact that we were talking about the fact that the rest were basically on single digits through the first 4 hard points, I want to say, or something to that effect. And that probably, I mean, definitely contributed to the fact that Stalwart were as far ahead as they were. And of course, that was damaging in the end because that's more or less the stat line of which Stalwart were able to win game number 1 by. So not all of Wolves showing up. The pack isn't here just yet. Maybe it will be so for Search and Destroy because we do go to Coastal up next here a ton. And look, STE, they managed to beat Q9 earlier on today on Coastal Search and Destroy. So Stalwart will definitely be in high spirits here. But I never want to count out Wolves. This has historically been a good map for them. We look back towards CDM. I believe it's a 3-2 record for them moving into that. So it's a good map for both teams. But I feel like, again, Stalwart's earlier victory, that's going to give them a huge confidence booster.
Into map number 2 we go. And you're right, neither one of these teams necessarily having a great load of competitive play on this one specifically in Coastal. Which again, kind of always makes for an interesting game. Will be STE on the defensive side to kick things off. We've seen a lot of really splits, I want to say, between a lot of these top teams, especially in the Search and Destroys. Many a 3-3 at halftime, many a overtime. But for Wolves on the attack to kick things off, a slow and steady approach, but STE not quite playing that same game. Reef, he will find one, gets taken down. That's okay for both these two teams because information's being gained.
That's the idea. FDX just trying to play his life at the moment.
He's done well.
Wait for the rest of the team to come over. That's the idea. He is playing hide and seek miraculously well. If he could even walk away with a frag here, that's everything. Yeah, those prize ties working overtime today.
Wind will find him, but he did well to survive as long as he could. He knew his objective and he completed it well. The rest of STE are here. The backup has arrived and Zai has left all on his own in 1 versus 3 and he's not in a position to help his team. Really, FTX did... I think a lot of people will be like, okay, well, you're gassing something unnecessarily there, but he just stayed alive as long as possible. And sometimes playing your life is as good as finding kills. First round goes STE's way.
And I think that's the fact he drew so much attention to one small spot, right? Because if you do that in that situation, you're pulling the looks of at least 2-3, the POVs of 2-3 players from Wolves, and that's pretty much what he did, away from the points of entry that Stalwart would eventually take into one little small angle. So, yeah, for Stalwart to do that is huge. Nice play from FDX. Good start for them.
And you see the L fans watching, that was a Shotzi-like play, and they know exactly what I mean. Guys, impossible to kill. Sometimes that can be as useful as finding kills yourself. Into round number 2. ST wanted to go through the defensive rounds. Always formulating something here. You can see the setup from STE in your bottom left corner. As the push will start to come through. It seems like a setup. The grenades will come in and Clove to get himself caught out, but that smoke's actually going to give him a little bit of cover. Skirt is here to help out as well, and we'll find first blood, but Wolves inside of B.
Maybe inspired by Q9. They're going to go with the B site here. Maybe not entirely by choice. Clove's going to find one on the exit as well. They have numbers in this situation. They're going to go for a retake. Wolves' only option here. Get that rock down. They're looking for some kind of exit frag here. Turn and Stalwart, they're just not giving them anything.
And then the problem is trying to get that bomb down when you know they're just all around you. You never know when's the best time. And that time may well have passed already. Sounds and King. Gonna have to wait inside of the site. I don't think STE will rush anything here. They'll spray away, they'll try and find what they can, but there's no need to push into this site and make it mixy. You have the number advantage. If they get the bomb down, they may well make a push.
Yeah, the issue is they can't get the bomb down because of the fact that Clove is there. He's just spraying and praying through the wall with the PKM. The fact if he wasn't doing that, this would be nice, but they're going to go for it. The spray and pray has stopped, but you're still, nonetheless, in the 2 versus 4. That fact remains unchanged. And it feels like the heat of Stalwart will now be raining down upon Wolves.
It's going to be about utility. Grenade goes in, does not land, but Clove, can he find anything? That's your teammate on the cross. King can find one. King can find a second. Surely not. Just too many men. STE find a second round. Nice retake from them, but really the work was done when they tried to find the players inside of the site before that. Bomb goes down. Easy enough job for Stalwart.
Yeah, and it does feel a little bit like that's why retaking that site at times can be so beneficial, right? Especially in a situation where you've got numbers. Obviously, that definitely helps. But, you know, the fact you've got Clove just kind of spraying through the bookcase and preventing a bomb plant for the longest time. They get a kill as well, and at that point, it's pretty much a guaranteed round in Stalwart's favor. Wolves here, though. Utility over the top. It's a beautiful nade to take Jai out of the play. There's no trophy there.
Sounds falls though, just before that happens, and Clove just may well have got some brilliant timing. He gets traded, 3 versus 3. Reek will find one. Does he get traded? Yes, he does. The Skirt, who actually gets traded inside, does even better. Finds 2. Surely he doesn't find the 3rd, and all of a sudden we're just having a bit of a quick scope off down long side. FTX can find 1, makes it a 1 versus 1. And King will have that info. And that nade will not find much. FTX being patient. Both players with very little information, but time is very much on both of their sides. As FTX read this as King. Both seem destined for each other. And a 2-1 or 3-0 scoreline is very different. Oh my goodness me.
They have the bomb.
King, did he see him? He gets away again. They're so close to each other, they can smell each other's breath.
King doesn't know. He has no idea that FTX is behind him. And FTX looking for it.
He's taking his time. We would have heard the grenade being cooked. We'll have the freebie. Oh my word. I didn't want to breathe.
Oh god. FTX. It's like a sideways snake, something to that effect.
You have to make sure, don't you? You had the angle on him. It was just a case of making sure you secure it. King not quite finding the angle to get that one to ring out, but ST looking very, very solid here in the search and destroy. I don't want to speak too soon for this series, but it has an air of Wolves maybe just running out of steam. And that is a nice pick to find as well. Wind has a little look. It's a little bit of a bait, actually. That comes through from FTX. He dips out, expects his other teammate to be able to find the shot on the way back in. But FTX is accurate as ever. Still 3-0 to SCE, and they have a man advantage on round number 4.
Wolves trying to figure out how to work around this now. Man disadvantage for the umpteenth time. You've got 0 map control. I'm curious to see how much util they've got left. It's just a little stun check through the middle of the map to check that nobody was by boxes. So a minor amount of information gained, but you've still got to deal with a double stack inside the bar. That's going to be really tough. Even if you take a 1-for-1 trade, that is not beneficial to you in this instance. Still, you got time to figure out where these players are. Although I will say, 50 seconds on the clock, that time starting to run away from you.
Grenade out.
Wolves maybe running out of time. Not only running out of ideas, information gain. Jai has been smoked off, though he can't really help out, so Reef has to do it on his own. Jai then joins in, finds King, and this will be another round to STE. Unless Peg can, pull something out of the hat. And it will be something. There's number 1 done in clove. Stun will not do too bad. It was actually the smoke that comes out, sorry. Try and cover his own back, and not going to happen. FTX will swing around behind him. 4-0 now to STE. This is a walk in the park for the greener team right now.
It's just a situation, right? Wolves played that pretty well, to be honest. You don't have numbers in the situation. The best thing you can do is kind of force a situation that is favourable to you. Take a 4 versus 2 on towards A. And quite account for players sitting in corners. Certainly not ready for it. Nice first blood from FTX. And again, how many times has that happened? Wolves just continually getting first blooded here, and now they're trying to pick up the pace.
Oh, they're delusional. ST are absolutely delusionally confident. And will Zion win punish them? 3 versus 1, not going to happen. ST are running through Wolves right now. They are 5-0 up, 5 defensive rounds in a row. And Wolves can't touch them.
It's just Wolves, they're trying different things, right? In that round, right, they lose first blood. Okay, let's be faster with a reaction this time around. Finally, Wolves get the first blood in their favor. Oh my god, a hit marker on towards the second as well. That gets traded out. Getting a little bit aggressive there, egregious, you might say. But at the very least, they're not at a man disadvantage now. So Wolves, it is now their playground. They can choose what to do. The variance and strategy is on the table. They've got options.
It almost feels like B becomes a little easier in a 4v4. It's an easier one to maybe break into. It's tough. Made over the top. Not going to land. It is going to force a reposition from ST. More set nades on its way. Are they going to land? Do not move to your right-hand side. Oh, no, Arch can make it down the stairs, and a catches him. Clove on a slither of health. And they're choosing to back it on up.
And I wonder if that commitment of the nades is enough to make Stalwart think that this isn't going to be a rotation. I thought for a second maybe, but no. The commitment has been made here. And now, the butting of the head. Only 1 player removed from the play for Wolves, so this is effectively a 3 versus 2.
They had to go faster than this, though. That's the problem. They've taken the long route round, and all of a sudden it's going to be time for ST to set up, but they don't land their shots, and Wind sweeps on through. He will find 2. Reef now left in a 1 versus 4. And it feels like Wolves will find some respite from this attacking side. This round should absolutely be theirs, barring another 1 versus 4 this weekend. And Reef in this position, it ain't gonna happen. One player behind. Is he going to be able to do it? I very much doubt it. Wolves get themselves on the board. That was crucial.
Yeah, I mean, that round could well have gone ST's way if it wasn't for FTX whiffing a shot, right? Because Wind is the one that he would have taken down. Wind doesn't get that first kill, and he most certainly doesn't get the second. So one little snipe going Stalwart's way, and that is a flawless offensive effort. And on the whole, I think they'll be very happy chappies about that one. Wolves need to have an incredible start, and they're getting pushed super quick.
Oh, Stalwart straight away over towards B and getting aggressive. One play over towards his backside. Did they see the cross? They did absolutely not. Can they manage to find it? No, they cannot. Sounds. He will find two. Jai not going to try and get this one done and dusted because Wolves are on their way around to help, but they have still not killed Sounds. Eventually they do, but Jai now left in a 1 versus 3. Wolves answer the call very, very quickly. It's back-to-back round from Wolves.
Yeah, just incredible how one player can completely change the course of Call of Duty Mobile history. Have a round of the board here for Wolves. The Sound picks up a double inside the site, and well, at that point, the reinforcements were called. Stalwart couldn't trade in time. And that is Wolves kicking off the defensive round set just as they wanted to. And this is a very different look from Wolves as well. They are really trying to set the pace right now, Ton. You can tell with the variance in strategy, they want to throw Stalwart off.
Reef trying to find a way through. Looking for some information, gained plenty of it. And the information is gained in shotgun pellets to the chest. Reef dealt with so quickly. But he found enough out. Is it going to help STE with this attack? I'm not too sure. Wolves are positioned well.
It's one of those situations where there's enough time on the clock here for Stalwart to still make decisions here. If they could remove Sai from A side, that would be everything. Oh, the hit marker, that's tough because now it's going to draw the entire attention of Wolves. And Stalwart, they're still committed to this.
Still committing over. Club did not make too much noise. Now Zai will back it on down. Did he get much information though? He was shot, that's what he knows. But did you see too many of the STE on their way around getting aggressive? There's no way that Zai has found that. Gets the information for his team and starts on spraying, but Cole can find two with a shotgun. The HSO in hand, he will eventually get taken down. It's now a 2 versus 3 in favor of Wolves.
I've seen players do that with the roll. I've not seen players do it with the type. You learn something new every day, folks. Stalwart now in a 2 versus 3. It's a war on 2 fronts. And Wolves, they are the ones who want to overwhelm.
Can Jai and Skird do much here? Doesn't look that way. Jai was holding an angle, but not that one. King finds 2. Skird will get taken down, and Wolves will find another round. That's 2 attacks in a row, I should say. To finding that final round in the defensive side, but 3 rounds in a row here for Wolves. Some life to be seen so far, at least anyway.
Yeah, I'm very surprised actually that Stalwart, after making the noise, after tagging Zai in the initial moment, actually did kind of commit to that, right? Maybe they were kind of going for like a double blind or something like that, where it's just like, hey, well, you think we're normally going to rotate away here, so we're just going to commit to it and hope that you've made that decision early on. But nope, Zai did not blink. As a matter of fact, he got more kills. It is a fast, aggressive push from Stalwart in this round. This worked before.
But they had to execute. They didn't last time. And again, Sounds is just continuing to survive over towards his backside. You need to get rid of him, and a 1-for-1 is fine. Oh, they actually have read this. They've read the push that's come through mid. Jay, he's played that so well as Jai. Finds 2, waits for the push, and that might be the 6th round that ST needed.
You've got to get rid of Jai before you even get into the site. That's the first thing. If you don't kill Jai, you ain't winning this round, and that's one way to do it. That's a beautiful nade from Zai.
King now finding his way around, but the bomb has been planted over towards B. King needs to find a pick here if they want a chance. FDX. Nice and safe over towards that side, but not able to help almost immediately. Zai gets aggressive, will find him. 2 players clearly towards the backside, but 13 seconds to go. You need to get on moving. King will get taken down, and Clove will find another. ST stop the bleeding, and are 1 round away from a 2-map lead.
I mean, the obvious difference there, right? Sound doesn't pick 2 off the bat, and then, of course, Jai follows up that double behind the bar. He's serving nothing but dirty looks. Stalwart, 1 round away from taking a 2-0 series lead against the former world champions. That is 1 rite of passage you need to do to become world champions yourself. And Wolves, I think they're out of ideas, I'll be honest, Tom. We've seen a variety of different looks from them over the last 4 rounds. This is a much more standard approach. They do not want to mess up.
Utility being sent out over towards the B side. And it will draw utility from Wolves as well. So that's an advantage to the attacking team, you would like to think. Information gained by FDX, but the shot not landed. Still 5v5. And everything in this round is just a little precarious now for both these two teams. They're playing nervous. They're playing like they have the opportunity to send themselves to a Sunday at a World Championship.
It's all about this first blood. Time's starting to dwindle down in this round. You can feel the tension here in the venue. One player could change the entire course of this game. Jai, he's been a difference maker for Stalwart. He just needs to find this opening blood, and Stalwart are in.
So much utility sent over towards the A side of map, and for a moment, Wolves were drawn away from B. They're now drawn back. And is that going to work out? First blood's going to be massive. Clove just trying to make as much noise as possible, but Wolves, they're ready for this. The first shots coming through from Peg are good. The second shots are even better. And Scared now is going to have to run away scared. His King will find another. Peg will find 3 on sight and lock it down. Wolves find another round.
3 from Peg. Keeps them in it. That's the beauty of an HSO watching a choke point. Just the current meta we live in here in COD Mobile. Just how it is. Everyone was so hopeful when the attachment bans came through. Hey, maybe the HSO might not be better. Nah, it's still in there. Anyway, fast, aggressive from Stalwart once again, hoping to get rid of Sounds.
Let's see if Sounds can do one better. Well, he's got a little bit of help this time. King right alongside him. Sounds over towards the backside. Can find 2 as well. It's wonderful defense from Wolves. STE are throwing different looks, but that one, it's kind of been a bit of a 50-50. The rush over towards B, it hasn't worked out. Now on a 2 versus 4. The problem is they're just cornered, but I don't think for 1 second that Wolves will expect them just to push out of the side, so they're going to do it anyway, but one player behind them, they've got to be so careful. Wind will turn around, he will deal with it. That was a Wolves round for a very long time.
Honestly, I thought for a second there, when Stalwart lived well past their expiry date, I was like, there's no way they actually survived this, right? This is a blatant round for Wolves, but yeah, 100% different strategy there from Wolves. They sent a couple of players into the Wolves to B side this time, as opposed to just Sound, so very different.
Wolves in the game against OUG, who were behind in a similar scenario. I think they were actually 6-4 down or something along those lines, and they came back to win it in overtime. No players have found anything, but plenty of utility being sent across the board. Peg will find Reef, a car bomb out of nowhere. And now all of a sudden STE do not have the numbers. They may well still be 6-5 up and still need this round to take this one away, but Wolves could very well tie it up with this advantage.
Yeah, now the thing is, Wolves don't have to commit to either of these 2 sites, right? They can kind of spread themselves thinly and react to ST, considering they now have the numbers. Would have been a nice snipe to ascertain the round for Stalwart, but they are still going to be comfortable for the moment here. Keep an eye on Clove, 11 kills to his name. He's been monumental for Stalwart. He could be everything on the entry towards B, but that is a double up and a half that you do not want to deal with.
ST are playing like a team who are 5-1 up, and are currently in a precarious spot. This may well be going to overtime. Aggressive lines coming through from Wolves, and that is a bold player to be making in a round like this. And bold plays are punished by Jai. Zai gets taken down. It's a wonderful shot, 4 versus 4.
But they do not blink. Neither does Stalwart. I really thought for a second there was a strange shot. No, they are committing straight for it. COD timing. They have a chance to get on towards the site.
King back down at the right time. That stun's not going to land on anything, but there's the bullet from the Tundra. They got to back it on down. FDX will find Peg, and ST are in on the site. This bomb should be going down, and it is on its way over. Does not land. STE, bomb down, 45 seconds. They've got the man advantage, but Sounds evens the odd, 3v3.
3v3 go. Jai, the man of the hour. One snipe again could change everything. Wolves taking their time. They've got 30 seconds. They can do this.
30 seconds to formulate how we get back into A and how we defuse that bomb. Sounds trying to distract, but Jai, once again, he's been the hero of this round. Gets another pick, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 3. Backs on down. Shot's going to come in from Wind, but he can't find them. And it is all but done. STE should surely get this one. Sounds is trying his hardest. 9 seconds to go, and not going to get near it. STE find a way in. A miraculous defensive recovery from Wolves is not enough. The damage was done, and they are 2-0 down.
Just the reactivity of Stalwart over and over again.
Man, wow.
Right, I mean, it's Jai, all right, for sure. This guy has changed the game for Stalwart Esport. I don't want to say he single-handedly transformed them into a championship-winning team. I think many in the Garena community would say they've always been capable of that. They just didn't get the chance last year. This year, they are still well on the road, and I think they've gone into turbo mode. They've kicked it up a notch or two. This was a phenomenal start, though, for Stalwart. 5 rounds on the bounce to kick things off here. And I said it, I mean, they could well have had 6 if it wasn't for one whiffed snipe from FDX. That would have been a flawless defensive start. Every single time that Wolves tried some kind of different look, well, Stalwart had the answer, and of course it most certainly didn't help for the vast majority of those defensive rounds. The first blood, Stalwart had that in the back.
Just felt like STE were crumbling a little bit though, didn't it? And that really would have felt like if Wolves could have found that map from where they were 5-0 down at one stage, brought it back to 5-1 at the half. If Wolves bring that back and go on to win it, the mentality difference is monumental at this stage. But as it goes, they couldn't, and Stalwart Esports stop the bleeding in those defensive rounds, find themselves 2-0 up in this series, heading in to Crossfire Control. It's been a long old day for Wolves, but they haven't been involved in a 3-0 today yet, and I'm sure they don't want that to be the case in a map number 3. Stalwart Esports, though, in a commanding spot. But both these teams, Brody, very proficient at control. But who's going to bring the A game here? And now a final game of the day.
It's so difficult, isn't it? I mean, Crossfire has been traditionally a great map for both Stalwart and for Wolves, so I do almost kind of expect to see a banger matchup here for sure, regardless of who takes it home. But for Wolves, I mean, your backs are up against the wall. We go back to Crossfire Control today from Wolves, and it has been a wild ride for sure. Of course, they managed to beat, I believe it was, OUG on this one, 3-0. They took a Game 5 loss earlier on versus Galeris, which is, I think, a pretty big loss to take. So it's been kind of mixed signals, I want to say, from Stalwart thus far, or from Wolves so far, excuse me. Stalwart, on the other hand, though, I think they've been pretty confident this map to my memory.
Having a look through Stalwart's results so far on Crossfire. They have played it 3 times. They have not lost a round. 3-0 in every single game. That's if Alan's been putting these stats in right anyway. I mean, I'm hoping he has done, but hopefully that is the case. But let's see how things are going to roll on down. I trust I hold shift. And I trust STE are going to feel confident on this map because of that. Wolves, can they answer the call? Well, Peg's already tried to start to do so, and Zyko trying alongside of him to get this one going. STE now trying to get themselves back in a position, but Peg's done wonderfully again over towards that A side. King in a good spot to stop these flankers. Nice start from the side of Wolves.
Yeah, this is a beautiful start from Wolves. They haven't fully cleared out space just yet from A, but I think the primary thing right now is just to make sure that Stalwart aren't able to overextend through B. Even despite those gunfires, you find 3 in the feed now. If you're Stalwart, you're starting to really push up and trying to get some movement going, create some breathing space. Wolves, for all of the kills they've made here, for the small tentative 2 life advantage they've got, there are still Stalwart players to deal with. A top X and over towards B. You gotta remove those players, even with 45 on the clock.
I might be wrong. I might be running the wrong stats page, but STE being going well. I'm not going to blame Shift for that. He's now going to be saying, what's this guy talking about? Reef now. Over towards the A side, trying to get something going. It's been a nice start from Wolves. Not going to happen for him over towards this side as Wind will shut things down and consistently over towards A. Wolves have been doing a really good job at just being a nuisance. That live discrepancy is looking good.
Yeah, it's the lives at the moment. That's really the biggest issue here for Stalwart. So let's just start. Step number 1, get control of A. Get the extra 60 seconds of the ball before we move forward. Then you've got to remove players like Sounds from Delhi, and all of a sudden this becomes a tantalizing prospect, doesn't it? You've got a lot of space to work with here. Even in 11v17, you still can walk away with some ticks.
And a significant amount of time and space to work with. They're not necessarily pushing on the point, they're pushing out to try and keep Wolves that little bit further away. Peg can find one, but he does get taken down. STE put themselves in a wonderful spot here now, but look at the flank that could be coming on through. Zai will find one in the FDX, and Wolves will potentially stop the bleeding with those kills that come through. 10 versus 6.
Yeah, Wynn's going to find one kill as well against Reef, so what looked like such good map control for Stalwart gets blown apart basically by one man. They've got to get back through him if they want to get control, and actually Wynn's able to find yet another kill against Reef, so again, Stalwart being held at bay here. They had to fight for control, but that's 3 kills here now, Ton. They are right back on the point.
Excellent work. 6 versus 3. Still doable here for STE, and there's going to be investment coming through as well. The Tempest is out from Clove. Jai finds Peg. 4 versus 3. 40 seconds. Neither team has to panic yet. Although STE might be the ones that have to do so. Clove's found another. 2 versus 3. King finds Jai, and Clove is left with a Tempest in hand, albeit starting to get aggressive as well. Oh, he was shot. The Tempest runs out, but he finds the kill anyway. King will fall. Swings one over towards the right-hand side. Clove will take one back. Now just a little bit weak. Underkiller out. He's not going to be able to find a dig here on his left-hand side. Yes, he did, but which the shot has to land. It has to land it now, and cannot. Wolves will find the defensive round. And if he finds that HS kill, he's on his own inside the other side. King would have had to make a move.
That is the most uncharacteristic HSO play from Clove I've seen all tournament long. Missing a couple of key shots. The Hunter Killer drone, of course, was in the air, so they had no choice but to stay inside Wolves in that situation. Big round from Wolves. I want to start strong on this one. Of course, it was such a big round that they automatically have the War Machine off the start of this one. And they are creating a lot of space early on in this round. Worth saying as well, Wolves still have a lot of utility on site. Just the War Machine was invested. 3 ops still to go. So if they manage to capture A early here, Ton, the rotation towards B should be pretty smooth.
That's what they can do. Looking good from Wolves so far. Starting to push themselves up, put themselves in positions where they can make their life easier. Clove feels like the only one who's really answered back from STE. They are getting blown out of the water right now, but Reef finds one back on a Peg. A little bit more map control. But Wolves in a really nice spot. That's going to be a quick air capture. Equalizers out for that. No info, nothing. Desperation player from Reef there.
Yeah, that's really not good. I know that it's early on in the round because now that leaves you even in a deeper hole than you were previously, right? Because you've just invested one of your ops you've got. Look at Wolves' inventory right now, buddy. They have the entire armory across their backpacks collectively. It's 4 ops, it's 1 streak, assuming that's just a Hunter Killer drone. Wolves have everything to work with here on this rotation. It's going to take 1 man to blow it all up. Clover's advanced in a position here, so for Stalwart, that might be enough to buy them time to get their own ops in this game.
Clove now putting that pressure on. He is going to get taken down by King. But now everything else being brought in by Zai, he's just going to slow them up to give his team time to get it across. And operators are plenty available from Wolves. They're getting themselves over towards B. Those operators are coming in. Clove will find a big kill on the Peg though. And there has been occasions where operators being brought in by both these two teams. It has not necessarily been the best, but Zai will find a couple of the Annihilator. He'll get taken down, 18 versus 14.
I mean, exactly what we were talking about has happened, really. Clove buys enough time here that now they have their own operators, so all 4 ops come out from Wolves. Now it's Stalwart in control of this game with the operators. They are still down by 4 lives, though, and Clove again, yet another suspect Tempest play. Peg comes through. You just got pegged.
Oh, here we go. 14 and 10 from Wolves. And it's looking good for them, but can they continue to keep things up? STE on the defensive side are not necessarily in the worst of positions, but they need to continue to find these kills. Wolves are on their way. King will find one. It's a trade going to come across the board here from Skird. And, well, is it going to continue? Absolutely not. 3 kills coming their way. Win will pull out the equalizers. 12 versus 5. This is all but a Wolves round. STE need to be perfect.
You just got no map control whatsoever. All you can really hope is smokes off the start. We might obfuscate things and get through the middle of the map, but it's just so tough. Wolves watching every single point of ingress. They are going to trade things out. Down to a 3 versus 9 here, Tom, but 35 on the clock. Time not really on Stalwart's side either.
3 versus 7. Not going to happen. King pierces Scared, and all of a sudden 2 players remaining, Clove and FDX. What can you do, FDX? Well, a fantastic shot. The 2 versus 6. You've got to get back onto the point. 2 versus 5. Clove can find 2. 2 versus 4. But that tick is coming through. Oh, Sands will come through with the War Machine. And I kind of get it, but I think what I will say more than anything, instead of it being a waste, ST forced them to use it.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the theme of that round, right? A lot of forced operate usage. We talked about Wolves kind of having 4 before they even got anywhere close to it. You know, a really good play from Clove, actually, even though it doesn't really result in a round victory, was the fact that he did manage to hold them off so long that Stuart were able to get ops themselves right after Wolves had exposed those. So, yeah, Wolves, off the start of this round, now looking to 3-0 and get back into the series in indomitable fashion. It's been a solid start in terms of lives here for the moment. Still, again, try and do that thing of just getting players behind enemy lines to cause some carnage, get some distraction plays going, so they can actually get some kind of map control.
Well, I eventually got the right sheet up, Brody, and they have played this twice. I've Stalwart. Only lost 1 round, so I was nearly close, just by sheer blind luck. It's not taking much luck for FDX to get a little bit of control here, though. The rest of his team are alongside of him. They are working away on it. Bit of a push going on over towards this B side as well. Is it going to be push to anything? I'm not too sure. Clove continue to survive. ST doing a good job in this round, though. They're chipping away.
Yeah, that third tick is about to be through on A by the looks of things here. I don't think Wolves are going to stop it at this stage of the competition. Couple of kills, though, in favour for Stalwart at the moment. Clove investing, you have to feel, just to try and clear out some space around the back of the map here in this instance. And yeah, that's Clove getting it done. Clove now more the Tempest. He's close to the EMP.
And this is a round that they really need to get going. The EMP would help along the way. That's going to be a big Predator missile coming through as well. Takes down Wind. Not too far off. Reef doing some good work as well. So this is looking more and more like an STE round. But I think for STE's hopes, there's 3 kills coming through from Wolves. So making it a little bit more plausible. If I'm Clove, I'm really working on this EMP. Does not find it. That's 5 kills in a row from Wolves, who've made this a lot more interesting than it was looking about 20 seconds ago. They'll find another. They're starting to invest here. They want to make sure. And look at these kills coming in from Peg across the map from the top of balcony, expecting the pressure. It was unrelenting. Clove will find it. 12v9.
It's not the worst F machine in the world, right? You get a couple of kills out of it. You do at the very least prevent Stuart from garnering that mid-map control for a little bit longer. You waste about 15 seconds of time off the clock. So now Stuart have 60 to go and a 4 life advantage to make this transition work. A couple of ops in the back pocket as well. This is plausible, but you've got to keep control of X.
Yeah, Clove's going to manage to find Peg as well and find his way over towards the backside. Wind will deal with him, but it's the pressure. It's going to continue. King's going to bring in the Tempest, and Zai going to bring in the Annihilator as well. They really want this 3-0. They want to try and turn this one around. Zai can find 1. Peg gets taken down, but can he continue to sing with the Annihilator? Yes, he can. He finds 2. Sounds will find 2 himself as well. Fantastic work from Wolves. 5v6.
There's nothing like when the Wolf Pack is working together. 5v6, 20 seconds left on the clock. Both ops still in play, and this is a big clear if they could get it. Oh, Peg looks away at the wrong time. So now down to a 4v6. That's a big player to take off the board.
But SC do have to get onto the point here. They can't waste their time. There's a Sparrow out from the other side on Wind. He will find something. Zai continues to do very well with the Annihilator. Zai will find everything else that he needs to. That's 3 kills from him, and it's a 1 versus 3. Wolves may well still have life in this game. It's a 3-0 in the control. And they get themselves on the board in fantastic fashion. That was a dominant crossfire control.
I mean, wow, the thing is, it's one of those controls, right, where it's dominant. But
it wasn't.
But it wasn't, right? I mean, we literally had this discussion earlier on, right? We talked about, I don't remember what match it was now. It's been a really long day. It was like a 3-2, right? It's like, well, that was one of those 3-2s. I think it was actually Stuart versus Q9. My memory bank has just started working again. Yeah, we were talking about it being like one of those 3-2s that, like, well, it was a 3-2, but it was actually a pretty dominant 3-2, the way that which kind of Q9 pushed ST back into spawn. In regard to this match, though, I mean, that was a 3-0, but every single round came down to the wire, came down to just a handful of kills difference, and maybe even a couple of clutches from both rosters. Moments of excellence from Stuart, right, where they're like, all right, cool, we can really pull ourselves back from the brink here, but it really did feel like it was Wolves consistently in the driver's seat in that game. It felt like whenever we were seeing ops being pulled out from Wolves, rarely were they wasted, and really, rarely were they ill-timed as well. It felt like, you know, those operators coming out, I think probably the one that came to memory, even though it didn't really amount to that much in the grand scheme of things, it certainly kept the status quo intact, which is when they have those 4 operators in round number 2, they brought them all out at the same time to make sure that that life disadvantage did not go away. Yeah, this is Wolves as we know it. This is the Wolves that finished 9-1 in crossfire control back in CDM. They are so damn good at that map mode combo.
They find the dub. And again, I was kind of just speaking words towards the end. In a sense, it was a close game. A couple of rounds come down, what a 1 versus 3, a 4 versus 2 at very, very close moments. But Wolves were the right side of it every single time. 2-1 to Stalwart now. Wolves got a bit of life in them. Map number 1, comfortable for Stalwart. Map number 2, for the most part, was comfortable, but got close as time went on. Wolves just not enough in the tank to bring that one back, but that's the kind of map it felt like they needed. Heading into a map number 4 on Slums, that's going to be coming up in a second. But it really did feel like a convincing map win from Wolves would potentially get them back in to this game, into this series, into this tournament. And that might just be the sign of life that we needed if we want to see that map number 5.
So I'm fairly certain we haven't actually seen any reverse sweeps this weekend, at least on our broadcast. Maybe perhaps there has been one on like B, C, or D stream, but certainly for us, at least, we haven't had any reverse sweeps. So this, I believe, would be the first. Someone, I'm sure Alan will text me in a second here, Shift. He'll be like, yeah, there was one. But yeah,
I could have done that for you. My Shift impression's a lot better than yours, but you know what? I'm not giving him what he wants.
Listen, I wasn't. You know, my American accent is actually pretty poor, right? So you know, my accents in general, I've got my own, and that's really about it. I've not really got much talent. That being said, yeah, it does feel like this is the first reverse sweep. What a time to do it as well. I remind folks that this is the lower bracket semi-finals, so the loser of this one crashes out of the tournament. I say crashes out, 4th place. Not bad considering the teams we've got left in the tournament. Stalwart Esports, of course, have gotten themselves to top 4. That is what they wanted to do, considering, what was it, top 8 last year in the single elimination bracket. They now have proven that, yeah, last year we were a top 4 team. If we hadn't played, I believe it was Wolves in the first round. No, it could have been Wolves. I'll see. It was Q9. Thank you so much, mate. Look, this is why I've got you here. You're my fact checker. Yeah, it was Q9. If they had played Q9, there's a chance that maybe they could have beaten Luminosity or Galaris in that bracket. But regardless, this time around, they are definitively a top 4 team. They have proven they are very much among the big boys, and you just got to get rid of Wolves. You got to get rid of a former world champion, which is no mean feat, to get yourselves into top 3 and Championship Sunday. Man, it's been a beautiful storyline for Stalwart.
I mean, I'll give it to you and Puckett. That was the prediction, that they would go on to be champions. Still, a long way to go for STE. Further to go for Wolves. They are still behind in this series. Can STE close this one out, or will one of the best hardpoint teams in the game get their job done when they need to and send us to that map number 5? Transition over towards the P2 spawns is going to be important. Wolves are the ones who are starting on the better of sides. But that can chop and change quite a few times in the period of 50 more seconds over towards P1.
Yeah, this is a very important rotation here from P1 to P2. I think very often teams will forget kind of about making sure they have plan control. Phenomenal start from Clove, by the way. He doubles up. But yeah, I think teams will very often forget that they kind of need to control the way that the spawns work on this map. Side picks up 4, Scared follows up with another couple of kills, and I just hope that Stalwart kind of don't do that. Make sure you keep blue control. Don't let anybody from Wolves flip the map, because it's very easy to let one sneaky beaky boy get past you.
That might well be it, actually, as well as Reef gets taken down. Wolves will force their way through. ST are going to be forced back. They spawn back in nice and early, but 15 seconds to play for over towards P1. Wolves would not mind it. They're not going to get the opportunity. ST finding the kills. They've got the spawns for P2. It's a wonderful, wonderful start for our Garena team still left in the tournament alongside Elevate. And yeah, just as a reminder, you at home, 2 Chinese teams, 2 Garena teams left. There will only be one at this stage if whatever comes out at the end of this one.
Yeah, Jai had to be really careful there, because I think him pushing too far out of the hard point actually flipped the spawns in favor of Wolves. So things will be weaker here for Stalwart. Wolves, off the back of that, now have a chance to knock at the door early in this hard point. If they can flip things, this will be huge.
They're close and very, very personal, but Clover actually pushes out to try and shut them down and continues to do so. Finds 4. Clover's had a wonderful start to map number 4. Finds 5 just to slow Wolves down. ST just racking those points up without much contestation up until this point. Predator missile on its way through. Kills being found by Wolves, but maybe not in the right of places. King can get the Tempest out, and here comes the push. Clove trying to find his way back into the point. Wolves have maybe got a bit of a foothold here, but ST still just about in control.
A couple of kills do come through from Zai, though. I think the objective at this point, with 15 seconds on the clock on this hardpoint turn, is just for Wolves to keep Stalwart out of this hill as much as humanly possible. It's just not happening, though. And perhaps worse here, a couple of players actually spawn in towards the old hill. That will weaken things around the front. Maybe Sounds can intercept them.
On their way over, STE Wolves ready and waiting. Zai bring the death machine out and just zone really with it. Nades on their way through. Just put that damage down through the wall. Keep them at bay. That's all you need to do if you're Zion Wolves. 55 seconds remaining now. Big kill comes through though. Jai will find it with the war machine, and now the push will start to initiate. That's 3 from Jai, and he has broken it open all on his own. 4 kills. STE are in, making a 5th. Is the 6th following? Not quite, but Jai does his job. STE are in.
Just as you say it though, there's Peg and King right back at you. Jai's work has gone up in smoke. STE will now have to fight from the front once again. Those back spawns are hella sticky, so get some smokes down, get yourselves behind enemy lines, because you got to work hard to get back into the hill.
Sam's trying to answer the call that Jai did initially. Jai finds another 3 though to try and break it open. Unrelenting from both of these two sides. STE will find a way through. 15 seconds to play for. As you mentioned, Wolves still with those sticky back spawns. Now just going to continue to try and find a way through. Jai, Club combining well. King will be able to find something, but it doesn't really amount to much. Not quite. Push coming through, and that might actually be big from Skirt. Does it actually start to change anything? No. And now the transition over towards the next hill, but look at that lead for STE. It is quite something.
It is just insane, isn't it, how similar the strategy is for Stalwart compared to 2024 Elevate. This is what we were talking about, right? Elevate, of course, came with that brand new strategy last year of just flooding the hill with as many people as you humanly can. That's what Stalwart are doing right now. Every single hard point, set as many bodies at the hard point at the same time as you can. Let's hope it works out.
So I managed to find something, but STE are having their way right now. 40 seconds to go over towards the garage hard point, and yeah, Wolves are not spawning in the best of places. They're not too far away, but STE are set up. They're set up clean. Zizai trying to find something over towards the other side. Skirt just comes in and picks it up. It's far too easy for STE. 25 seconds to go here on the final hill of the first rotation. STE could be 100 points in the lead by the time we get to the second.
Yeah, Skirt will be denied the EMP, but I love the positioning right now from STE, right? FDX was watching down the long by P3 to make sure that Wolves did not get through. As soon as he dies, all right, we see, I think it was Skirt just like picking exactly where he left off, right? Just making sure, hey, that lane is now open. Now I know people are going to come through Graveyard. The communication right now for Store is on point, and that is bearing out in this scoreline. Folks, this is a former world champion. They are 100 points down to Store Esports. Garena has come to play.
But if Wolves can bring it back, what kind of momentum could it take them? They just need one good transition. Get some good time over towards P1. You don't have the spawns for P2 though. That's being flipped on its head. Wolves, are you able to do something about this? Because right now STE are running all over you. 40 seconds to play for here over towards P1. Peg is going to bring the Predator missile in. Is that going to help them find a break back in and try and find these spawns? They need good time with P1, a good transition to P2. You're back into the game.
It all sounds so easy to do when we say a ton, but I really don't think it is that easy, especially when Stalwart are here. Jai almost able to transition into a second kill. That guy has been mental this entire series. He currently sits at 26 kills. Clove also at 27. Before I even got into the series, I talked about 2 players that you always want to watch out for Stalwart. It's those guys, and they're currently leading the pack.
Big fight won by King over towards the backside, though. Skirt has to go hunting for him. Does he find him? I'm not too sure. He still continues to survive over towards that backside. Skirt eventually does find it, but the rest of Wolves are on their way through. And now they've got the pin over towards the backside, and there's a couple of operators out here as well. But Jai, he'll manage to find something with the war machine and finds Zai. He finds nothing with the death machine. Peg, can he do much with this? Not quite. Peg will fall to 3 from Jai. ST are trying to find a way back through, but Wolves in touching distance.
I mean, yeah, it just feels like Wolves right now just doggedly trying to keep the store out of the hard point as opposed to actually getting time for themselves. Skirt coming through with a death machine. Now they're starting to regain that real estate here. Ton Store trying to fight to get back in.
Win brings in the Sparrow though, and we'll find a couple. Zai tries to find one back as well, and it's going to be a break coming through from Wolves, but still those close spawns for STE. If Wolves can actually get a foothold, establish themselves in the point, it's a perfect situation to be in, but Reef just blows them out the water. It's 3 from him. STE now trying to find that 100-point lead once again. It's 5 from Reef.
This is just 20 seconds you cannot afford to give away. Wolves, you have to full send it here, and if you don't, you've got to ensure that the next hill is a full 60 for you. Stalwart, just look at the lead, man. It's 100 points between these 2 teams. This is the losers bracket semi-final. This is the top 4 of the tournament.
Wolves now trying to set themselves up over towards P3. That 60-second hill that they need to find, it needs to come soon. It needs to come very soon, because right now they're over 100 points behind. It's 110, but it is starting to close. Wolves getting some good time over towards P3 and finding the kills as well. But they've got to be careful the garage side. It doesn't seem as if they're holding it down. The spawns are there over towards Fountain for them, but they need to keep ST out of this hill.
Yeah, you got to remember, the last time was broken by STE, right? They can do it again. All you got to do is get those smokes down and get behind enemy lines. Wolves don't really have much of an answer to it, so you have to be careful about any players that might slip in the net. I think Wolves, they are much more careful this time around.
Claude managed to pull out the equalizers. He does go down almost immediately. Have they managed to find a way in, though? It looks that way. Scared. Finds the break. 25 seconds to play for here. Every single time that you think Wolves have held something down, you look at the scoreline, it's still 80 or 90. They have got such an established lead to STE, and they just need to keep chipping away.
Giant 41. We're on Giant Watch right now, folks. Stillwater. They're going to get that scrap time, and at this point, a 30-30 split in this hard point is not good enough for Wolves. That lead has only grown. We look towards the next hard point. FDX wants to put the screws in. You look at it, it's STE. They've got players here, but they might well find themselves outnumbered.
And this was where STE really did start to extend that lead. It's where they really started to put some nails in the coffin of Wolves. It was over towards the garage hill, and here we are again. And here we are with STE in control. Sounds confined to the Wolves, maybe find a way through.
Yeah, double up investment coming out here. You've got to imagine soon from Skurd. Another death machine through. 15 seconds away. It's a wave of gunfights for STE.
One more chance for our former world champions to try and find a way through. But STE, they are winding up. They are finding everything. And they are sending themselves to Champs Sunday in the blink of an eye. Wolves wiped up the face of Poland. Incredible work from STE. They do it in full and in convincing style. Our former world champions have crashed out of the world championship.
Soak in this moment, folks. You are witnessing Call of Duty mobile history. Wolves were in contention to be the first team to ever win the world championship twice. Nope. Says Stalwart Esports, a team that has to prove that they deserve to be considered among the best of the best in the esport. Well, I think they've done that this weekend thus far.
That's going to sting a little bit for Wolves. You know that they wanted to go just a bit further, but top 4 in the world is nothing to be upset about. This is always my least favorite part of the competition, when we get to this stage where we're knocking out the best of the best, and STE just absolutely deserved this. They fought through a grueling lower bracket run and took down a team that so many were counting as the one to win it this year. Massive performance for Stalwart Esports.
Incredible. To be honest, I think from the get-go, I was worried about, was it such a grueling day for them? And it just felt a bit flat. And I think that was always a little bit of a worry. I don't want to say that we theory crafted it, but it's always that stage. You come to the last game on a Saturday, you're thinking, okay, well, how have these teams got here? What have these teams' days been like? And through no fault of their own, STE, 3 old Galleries, and had ages just to take a moment and chill. Wolves had to go through a grueler. I think it was a 7-5 or something like that, and a map 5 against OUG. And the nature of the beast is you've got to get into that next game. That's how things work. Schedules keep going. You don't get that rest that STE had the opportunity to have, but STE 3 or their opponents, and that's what bought them that. It's hard to say. Look, I think it's one of these moments, though. It's not always about that, but STE performed well, irrelevant of what happened.
All right, well, Ian got to talk with them before. They said they were going to be making it through to the end. They are one step closer to doing so. So, Ian, how are they feeling now?
Oh, man, Lauren, what a day it's been for STE. A grueling gauntlet run in the lower bracket. You make it out alive. Talk me through how relieved you are feeling right now.
I'm feeling very happy, and this is the first time that we beat the Chinese teams, CDM teams in tournament, and we're so happy to be able to beat them and to break the curse also. And we're coming from you, Elevate and Q9.
Oh, all right, we got our first piece of trash talk. I've been waiting for this all day long. You are now in the top 3. You just mentioned it there. Elevate, Q9. Doesn't seem like you are scared of either of them.
Coming from my IGN, I'm not scared.
I love that. So what is the plan now? Listen, you've got a bit of time now. It's been such a long day where you've just been in and out of games, but now you've got a little bit of time to reflect, gather your thoughts, and move into tomorrow. What will this evening look like for you and your team?
I think we're just going to relax for now because we're so exhausted for the game because we have, I think, 4 matches from today. Yeah.
You have had 4, and I've got to ask you just before I let you go and join your teammates. Sunday night, wait, are you going to lift this? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
I love that. Scared. Congratulations on a big win and an incredible run here today. Go and join your teammates, and we will be seeing you again tomorrow. I've already made the pun once. I'm going to say it again. This guy isn't scared of anybody.
That's the attitude they're going to need heading into tomorrow because it's not going to get any easier. Big congratulations to Stalwart Esports for making their way through to the 3rd and final day of our Call of Duty Mobile World Championships. Like you said, it was a slog, 4 matches on the day. Give me your thoughts on everything, but mostly, obviously, their performance.
Incredible. I think, you know, coming into this, what we're expecting was, okay, Green L, yeah, we're talking about Elevator, right? Yeah, you know, we know that. ST, I've been there. Don't look at me. Yeah, this is my point, not yours. Brody's staring me down. But Elevate, I've always been seen from Green L. Everybody really does talk about. ST, though, as a lot of you guys have mentioned, it's really been about them being quite close. They've been closing that gap this year. There's a step still to go, no doubt. I'd love to see a Garena matchup, though, man. Imagine a grand final. Oh, disgusting.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was literally, the first thing I thought as soon as Stalwart won that matchup was like, we could see Elevate Stalwart tomorrow. That is so tantalizing. And, you know, again, if the 3-0 over Wolves wasn't enough proof that Stalwart are well within the conversation to become world champions, the fact that they have beaten Elevate in the past should be enough. They can do this, and it would be one of the best storylines we've ever seen in COD Mobile.
Well, we're getting to see exactly what you're talking about here in our bracket. For everyone at home, Elevate and Q9 are the 2 teams on the upper side of our bracket in our winners finals tomorrow. Whichever team loses that match will drop down, face off against Stalwart Esports to fight for that last spot in our grand finals. And then we will close out the day by closing a champion, by hoisting the trophy, by handing out that first place prize. It is going to be a really fun day, and we have now wrapped up day 2. It was a long one, but it was a good one. Brody, favorite parts?
Oh man, that's so many. I feel like New Gen Ninjas, honestly. I know that it's easy to say Stalwart, but I really do feel like New Gen Ninjas coming out and being as competitive as they were earlier on today versus Q9, that was a phenomenal moment. And I really do feel like this has been one of the best Call of Duty Mobile World Championships we have ever had. There's just so many storylines on display. Street coming in, showing that LATAM has more to offer than just Galleries. New Gen Ninjas showing that despite the fact that they were a team that really had, like, what, a couple of days worth of time together, could compete with the best of the best. And I really do mean that, considering how close they made that match versus Q9. And then, yeah, obviously, Stalwart doing Stalwart things, being in that conversation. This has been a really beautiful moment for COD Mobile Esports. It's just so fun.
It was a great day. You guys crushed it. A very long day for our casters as well. Fantastic job, as always. We're going to be saying goodbye for now. For anybody at home, if you're unable to make it tomorrow, or you just want to catch up with everything that happened here today, just follow us on social media at PlayCodM Esports, whether that is on X or Insta. Follow